All right, guys, we're live. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second to get Ramon back on. That's just terrible. Okay. All right. That's the thing when you switch from one phone to next. Ramon will be back on for a second. So a couple things there. Jaden Hardy's going to play tonight. Hardy's going to get plenty of points in this game. The other thing I really like in this game is Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin over 9.5 points, minus 130. I don't have time right now to type in all this. I'm still dealing with some crap on the internet side. Switching over to the next game for Houston, Orlando. I've been looking for that. I'm trying to find, like, FanDuel doesn't have anything except for championships. It doesn't. I haven't. Yeah, but 13.5 points. He's going to take about 11 shots at 13.5 points. If it was 20.5, 16.5, stuff like that, I'd be kind of worried about Hardy. Kai Jones is going to get his first start tonight for the Mavericks. So it should be very kind of interesting how that's going to work. The second game, we got Houston and Orlando. Our favorite play, Corey Joseph, is going to get the chance to play again tonight. Yeah, he's killed it even with this split. We have a play in the Magic game that's under review in the very first 20 seconds of the game. I mean, come on, really? So we have to play Corey Joseph over 5.5 points. We also have to play Tari Eason over 13.5 points. Eason's been going to He's coming off a 20-plus point game. This is his type of game. Should be pretty good. Jabari Smith, once again, has also done really well from a points perspective. Still without Amen Thompson, still without Reed Shepard. If you've been watching, Jalen Green's been killing it on assist. His points have kind of come down there. He's actually been really, really bad in the first half and kind of as extended. The only thing is they're trying to give you a minus 180 for his 3.5 assists. You really can't take that. I apologize. We kind of lost 1 second. So let me see if I can get Ramon back. It looks like everybody else has joined pretty easily without any issue. Get Ramon here. Sent Ramon. I sent you the link. If you're in the chat, just let me know. I could even post the link in the chat. I don't care. If you want to come join me, just DM me in Discord real quick. I sent you the link there. Let me know if you're having issues getting on. I've got no TV tonight. Stupid Verizon Fios is killing me. So I'll be watching things through strictly the NBA app tonight, and we'll kind of see how this is going to go. Matherd's also going to get the start tonight. He's always a guy to watch from a Pacers perspective. He tends to be kind of a black hole at times, but it's a nice person to bet is if a guy is going to take it. And when he's going to get a chance versus this really weak Mavericks team, should have a pretty good chance to be able to hit his numbers without any issue. Nemhard's actually scored the first couple points. You're getting actually a little bit lower number on Matherin right now at 15.5. Like that, I probably think he gets around 20 tonight. So we'll see. And then we've got some 7:30 games we'll talk about. 8 o'clock games. We got some college basketball we'll go through. I'm really hoping Ramon can actually look at his Discord and jump on here and join us. And we got some hockey that's going on. I'm involved in 2 playoffs, one for NBA, one for hockey. And I am so busy, I haven't even looked at shit. So we're just playing whoever I've got in the lineup, and we'll see how that works. They keep playing with my internet here, so hopefully it doesn't go off again this time. So if I apologize if I momentarily drop off, just bear with me 1 second. That's why I'm trying to get Ramon back on here so he can carry the show no matter what happens. Let me go grab him on X. Doesn't look to be answering his Discord. Okay, Ramon's here. He's going to the Discord. All right, if you go to the Discord, I sent you a new link, Ramon. I had to set up a new show. When I switched out of the phone, it basically just end show, and it ended the show. And so I had to create a new schedule for there. So it should be an interesting games tonight. We'll kind of see how that works. Big slate. We'll completely break down the NCAA bracket tonight. I was going to ask Remote, do you know if Holden's joining at all? I mean, he may or may not. But anyway, hit the like button. We're going to have a fun time tonight. We're going to go through some things. We're going to win some bets. Mount St. Mary's taking on American. The bet everybody liked in this game was the under, and we're going to get about a 72-point first quarter. So the under is going to be dead. We're probably going to get maybe an 80-point first quarter. I still like the Mount in this game. I've been riding the Mount a lot. If you're paying attention, we ran it all the way through the conference tournament. Team that's been there before. Very, very battle tested. Yes, they're missing a good player, but they're very, very well coached. They string together wins when they need to. I thought they'd win this game versus American. Then we got Xavier versus Texas, which we'll talk about, and then we will break down the entire bracket. Who likes who? We got 2 NHL games, so if Mel's on, she can give us her NHL picks. One of those happens to be the Avalanche, who's playing tonight. I know she's got to be in that game. So we will take it from there. So got an early lead. It's 12-9 on the Pacers game, 7-2 on the Magic's game to start the game off. I expect this game to be very high scoring, kind of up and down beast that's going to happen in this game tonight. So Mavericks will probably keep this a little closer than people think. Clay is not playing. That was the one surprise, because he has been playing in previous games, that he's not going to go tonight. Also lose Brandon Williams. The only problem is the books never give you Brandon Williams to bet, so it's not really a big loss from that perspective. But we will kind of see as it goes. We're still in a reboot process. All right, Ramon, you any issues? I sent you the link in the Discord, Ramon. You should be able to get on. Ramon, I can send it through your X if that works better. Yeah, 1 second, Ramon. I'll send it right to your X. Ramon, I sent you to your X account. All right. Oh, Hart is a guy I always wonder why he doesn't get more runs, except for the fact he really plays no defense. And we talked about he's a little bit more of a black hole, but when he's on, he's on. The one guy who's definitely really fallen off, if you haven't noticed, is Max Christie. Max Christie had those couple big games, and then after that just kind of completely fell off the wagon from a 15, 20-point scorer. So early game, Orlando's got an early lead. Joseph Hart has already got 3, so that's good for our 5.5. There's our buddy. All right. Thanks for joining me, Ramon. Be able to break down this.
Yep, catching up with you here.
Ramon, I can't hear you.
Oh, shit. Really? The audio is coming across on
can't hear
YouTube, however.
All right, all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. So unfortunately, that's not good for us, but we'll play from there. You can hear Ramon. I can't hear Ramon. Maybe, let me see. I'll do something different. All right, Ramon, I can hear you.
You can't hear me now, brother?
I see what the issue was. Yep.
Okay.
And we got a surprise guest. Keg has decided to join us.
He was just going to help us out there, maybe.
Yep. And it dropped on, so, yep. Oh. So a lot of difference here. Not the way we wanted to start the show. It's definitely not the way there. I haven't even eaten dinner. That was cooking downstairs. So, all right. So early game 9-8. Joseph 5.5 points. He's got 3 already. So that looks pretty good. No assists yet for Jalen Green. So if you want to take his 4.5, you can get that at plus money. It's pretty nice. PJ only took that first shot. He's 1 for 5 to start the game. Not exactly what we want to see in the first half. Matherin is 0 for 2. Hasn't really started off well. College basketball. Were you with everybody on this under in Mount St. Mary's that has no chance in hell of cashing?
Just a crazy pace right here, right now, Sean, with 2 minutes to go in the first half. And, we're looking at a score of 41-36. No one saw this coming off of that move, about 3 or 4 points to the under there. So, yeah, I mean, I bought into the sauce here. I like Mount St. Mary's in this game. This morning on my show, my chat was adamant on American here. So I just backed off saying, hey, they must be right. I must be on an island here. So I kind of rolled with them. I'm not blaming anybody. They just were insistent that American was the side here. I kind of felt like Mount St. Mary's was the play here in this one. So I'm just basically getting dogged here. Going to turn my attention maybe to the NIT tonight with all these games just underway. St. Joe's 16-12 over UAB midway through the first half. Mason leading Samford here 17-11. Not quite the high scores we saw last night, it looks like. And maybe in one of the featured games here, Sean, FAU 18, Dayton 17. I know you're probably looking at least how the Owls are doing there, but they're in a tight one with Dayton. Got that home court in that game, even though Dayton's the number 1 seed, because, well, I guess Dayton's court is being used for something.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of funny. I mean, I've been on the Mount for a while now, all the way through their conference tournament. A team that has been there, done that. They have experience in the tourney. I like the Mount this game, so I kind of distance here from your guys. I did think it was going to be an under game. That's dead. No chance in hell of having any chance of being revived. But at that point, we'll kind of live to see what we can do here. Maybe it rebounds. I've seen plenty of games, but the fact that we had almost 80 points in the first half and the under was 129 is kind of a joke. Yeah.
The only thing that maybe was a bigger joke was the fact that Sean Fox does not follow Ramon Scott on X, and he had to.
Yeah, I had to.
Embarrassment. I should leave.
I did not follow you. Correct.
Maybe I'm a little, maybe I'm a little too crazy in my posts out there, and you deleted me. I'll let you catch. I won't break out too many jokes here. I know you got a busy slate here with you're kind of lucky here. Just 2 of the games going off, Sean, of our 11 NBA games tonight. So I know that a little technical glitch wasn't going to keep you away from this card tonight.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, trying to figure out the technical glitch is a little bit trying to see if I have internet is kind of a requirement to run the show. Well,
if you get caught doing things, I'll keep everybody abreast and posted here. There's also one game in the National Hockey League tonight just underway, the Avs and Toronto here. I'm on the Avs in this one. They've already played 10 minutes, no score. You maybe could look to get in. full game here. Obviously, both teams, pretty good game for a standalone feature tonight in the NHL. Similar records, certainly playoff-bound teams. No score so far. Avalanche and Leafs. I thought we might see goals here, but so far been a tightly contested game with no goals yet, halfway through, down to the final minute also here with Mount St. Mary's and American. You talked about, the under is doomed. There's no doubt that American has gone about this all wrong, and they will need to slow it down dramatically if they fall too far behind here in the second half. That's not going to save the game, obviously, here, but they get let's see what happened here. Bucket here for Mount St. Mary's. Boy, looking to extend an 8-point lead now for Mount St. Mary's there. So like I said, American just feels like they've gone about it all wrong. They were the ones I thought would be forced to muck it up, but that hasn't been. And it wasn't like, Sean, they were just getting lucky. The pace was quick early, and that was to the surprise of everyone. Yeah, maybe the inefficient offenses were expected a little bit in that declining total, but I don't think from listening to the betting analysts and everybody was talking about it as the game started over the first couple of minutes, everyone was pretty surprised by the way the two teams were going about their business. Orlando, I'm covering for you. You break into me anytime. I know you're working on the issues there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought Mount St. Mary's, but even if they muck this up, it's not going to a 40-point second half. That's just not happening. I mean, you're going to probably finish around 83 points in the first half. Like we said, Mount St. Mary's experienced team should be able to take care of business here. Kind of goes through. Any thoughts on the later game?
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. With Xavier in Texas. Look, what we saw yesterday, I'm going to put it out of my mind. I'm an Aztec, so bad way to go about business. But everyone was saying that the Aztecs last night got into the wrong type of game. To me, they didn't participate in the right type of game to give themselves a chance. When they saw that Carolina was going to go, I'm equating this to tonight's game now. When they saw that Carolina was going to go at their own pace, San Diego State should have stopped playing the San Diego State game and just tried to take their chances in a higher scoring game, try to get rebounds, crash the boards. They weren't throwing enough guys on the boards, and let Carolina get out, pull those guards back. And if they're going to shoot poorly, at least give them a chance by shooting a bunch of threes or whatever. It was like North Carolina went fast and San Diego State said, well, we're still going to play our style of game. And that wasn't going to work. But how it equates tonight is I think we will see a higher scoring game tonight with Xavier and Texas. Look, this game has gone up here right now to 151.5. That's definitely up a point or two here. That's the way I see it. I think it's going to be a game, maybe both teams into the mid to high 70s here.
Yeah, I definitely think the game goes over. I do like the over. I do like Xavier to move on. That is kind of where I'm going. I think they're a little bit more continuity than what Texas does. Texas tends to be erratic at different times, kind of searching for scoring. I think Xavier's going to be the more consistent team. Going to be able to hit the glass just to compete with Texas. And I like Xavier to win this game and kind of move into the next game. UNC, I'll be honest, I wasn't surprised in UNC. I gave UNC. I gave them with the Knicks money line the other night. So we did cash a nice little plus money two-teamer. I think when you look at UNC, everybody looked, no quad one wins. If you look at when those games were, there was no RJ Davis. The team's a different team with RJ Davis. That's why their BPI, that's why their WAP graded out pretty decently in the top 40 in the country. And that's why they were in the tournament. I don't think it has anything to do with the chancellor or whatever you want to talk at. I think advanced metrics is what they looked at. And if you look at the new metrics, which is the WAP, which is the BPI, which is the CureTech, whatever you want to go with, On all those, they're a top 50 team, and that puts them in the tournament. The old quad 1, quad 4, whatever you want to talk about, the media loves to hype that up before a game. But the committee said that wasn't high on their list. That was more the bottom of kind of a tiebreaker. And if you compare that and you compare West Virginia's WAP or quad 1 and not quad 1 or BPI, it was no match. UNC was ranked 15 to 20 spots better. And I think they're going to win again tomorrow too. I have them in the Sweet 16, and you can get that at plus 300 right now. So they're going to play an Ole Miss team that sometimes shows up, sometimes doesn't. I think you're going to have a lot of motivation on this Tar Heel team to prove that they should have been in the tournament. A lot of times you can rally around that. And again, a lot of these guys have been here. So I like them over Ole Miss, kind of advancing on. We'll see how that works. But, yeah. So I'm kind of going.
I got you there. And I usually think of something else when I'm thinking of the WAP. But, no, I think, look, when you're talking about those, and I thought for sure with San Diego State, look, if Carolina had this quad 1 record, blah, 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 they should be able to compete. But they were overmatched from the get-go there. Now, the other thing tonight, in tonight's game, Xavier, we talked about Dayton playing in down there at Florida Atlantic because Dayton can't play at home. They're playing in Florida because the floor is being used for the tournament, of course, and that's where Xavier has a little bit of home advantage also in that game tonight against Texas. I think I'm going to stick with my over there. I'm pretty heavy on the SEC in the tournament here. I'm really putting my I'm top heavy. Look, I think the way to attack the tournament, I think it's proven when you see these top seeds that eventually still get there for the most part. Mix it up early. Go with all your upsets there. Just don't knock out your top seeds. Don't be too crazy. I guess if you want to win the 9 trillion to 1, you got to pick some random 15-2 that's going to happen if indeed it does, and maybe even get another win out of some double-digit seeds to get alive in something like that. But given the history right now of the way that the tournament's going, and Sean, I think you're starting to see a bigger separation because of the NIL money already, and I think that makes those top teams, top conferences, top seeds even more lethal. I'm not harping on the game tonight necessarily. We're dealing with 2 teams that were playing into the tournament here, but I'm talking about down the line, the Auburns, the Dukes, the Houstons, the Floridas. It's proven that the number 1 seeds still are pretty strong again. Number 2 seeds are actually in a big slump here over the last couple of years. 2s and 5s are in a slump, and the other 1, 3s, 4s doing pretty well over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll get to that there. So we do have a 7:30 game. We have Detroit versus Miami. Kind of looking at what the books were giving us is not much. I'm not a big fan of Duncan Robinson at 12.5. Since he started, he hasn't been that there. Holden may be on a little later. I'm not sure. He's dealing with something. So Tobias Harris is at 13.5. You know me, I ride Tobias Harris. I have no problem with that. As long as that's under 15, I'm going to continue to take that. So I like Tobias Harris at over 13.5 points. The other play I like, which I've been starting to ride, it's hit for 7 straight games. We're going to take Dennis Schroeder over 9.5 points. He tends to get 11, 12, just barely above that. But I like that number. So we're going to ride both of those things right there in that game. I think it's a pretty good game. I lean the Pistons, but I think this game's going to be a little close. So nothing real big on that. Okay.
All right.
He was putting in the graphic for me. Oh, that's what he popped on for. Okay. He was adjusting the grade. So I'm going to try to enter these things. I got to remember to actually enter because when Holden's in, I definitely don't have to worry about that.
I don't know what my access is to the Discord. If I can help out there with your, I've got it. I just killed the chat because they finally got me to a live person. And then that person gave me like 8 seconds to answer, and I didn't answer, and they just cut me back. And I was like, I'm not dealing with this.
I'll deal with this later. As long as I have actual internet that's there, I can stream, I can watch NBA TV. I have ways to be able to watch the games. Just we'll basically go directly on the old school tablet. I took the Pistons -5. It's an interesting play. There, I could see it. I would probably take the Pistons money line, throw it in with the Pacers, and probably be right at even. So, because I think the Pacers are definitely winning tonight. So,
I was talking about the Pistons game here right now. Look, Miami has been dreadful here of late, ever since the trade. Now it feels like, and now they're really slumping. No wins, no covers. They're on a bad streak here. I thought once they kicked Butler to the curb that would kind of allow Spoelstra to be able to get back to the program a little bit. And it was for the first part, the first couple of games, but right now they're hitting the wall with a little bit of lack of cohesiveness, and they're up against this Pistons team that is kind of a take no prisoners type of performance here of late, covering games left and right. Here, they maybe given back a couple here, but still, over the last couple of weeks, a few teams hotter than the Detroit Pistons. So, can they cover another one? Or maybe I should say, can the Heat have another clunky performance, another bad performance? Because that's really you're kind of a hot team against a cold team here for sure. Just laying points on the road now with the Pistons. Yeah, they've done it a couple times here of late, but it's uncharted territory over the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it. Even the Pistons wins haven't been really impressive. That would be my only worry, is basically when you're going to be laying 4, you're doing that on the road. Yes, they've been 1-8, but they've also been in those games too. So there's been some ones that have been close. They close with the Bulls, close with the Hornets, close with the Timberwolves, close with the Cavaliers. The one win was just the Wizards. They got blown out by the Grizzlies. They got blown out the Knicks. But at home, except for the Celtics, basically every game was within 5 points. We'll kind of concentrate on that live. Maybe we can get a little better number. At 5, I would probably lean. I wouldn't take Miami with the points, but I would probably lead just to take a parlay with whoever you like later. Just take the Pistons money line. But it's 4.5. I mean, that's just under that number. 5, I'm not real happy with. I actually think it probably ends 5, to be honest with you. But we'll see it there. We've got some games, and we got an 8 o'clock games. Bunch of 8 o'clock games, 3 8 o'clock games. We got the OKC sitting almost everybody.
Yeah. But the Sixers are, going already with their makeshift lineup too, with all their guys permanently out. Feels like so.
Still waiting for Case on Wallace to see what the Knicks are going to play. The Spurs. There's not really much you could take with the Spurs these days. The Knicks should win this game pretty convincingly. Will they cover the 8 points? We'll see. They should be able to. They should be able to beat them up inside. Minnesota's going with everybody. Nobody's out for Minnesota. They're running everybody. The Pels at this point, they're just getting throttled in some of these games, like to the point of non-compete. So I don't know how you don't start any game versus them with, hey, we're just going to turn around and take the -13. I don't think they've got beat by 30, 40, 60. They're just not competing at all. They've always had an issue all year with any team with size. Well, lo and behold, here comes the team with the biggest size against them. So they shouldn't have any issue. They should be able to name whatever they want to do in that game. Indiana's pulled away. They're starting to be up by 12. PJ Washington is, like we said, off to a horrendous start, 1 for 5. Harding and Christie are actually your 2 leading scorers off the bench, and they've only played 5 and 7 minutes with 5 and 7 points. Mathurin also starting off 0 for 3. Nembhard basically your leading scorer, but with him and Siakam with 9. Toppin's got 2, so he's on his way to his 8.5, so that should be good. You move over there. Easton's got 2 rebounds. Did not score at all in the first quarter. That's kind of surprising. Hasn't done that in a while. Jabari Smith has got 5, so he's on his way to his 12.5. We talked about Joseph. Joseph's got 3. So we'll take a look at that game.
I got a little something here for you, though. I see some great comments in the chat, and I want to sign collectibles. One of your great mods there asking about the women's play-in tournament. So let me at least chip in here because I'm already down. So I guess I could turn it into a live bet. Iowa State's down right now, Sean, to Princeton. I do have in this game, I have Iowa State minus 5 here, went all the way up to 6 at game time. Right now, the line is Iowa State -4, -120. They're up 25-24 with 4 minutes to go. So I'm on Iowa State. If anybody wants to turn it into a live play, it's very comparable, if not a little bit of a discount right now on Iowa State 2-11 seeds meeting there. And stay tuned. I'll have a pick also later on in the Southern UC San Diego game. I guess I'm switching over to the Tritons now, Fox, as they San Diego. Although San Diego State women made the tournament. In fact, get this, Sean. I'm so old that of course, that's my area, San Diego, where I was a community reporter, high school, college sports, newspaper, television. The head coach of San Diego State, Stacey Terry Hudson, is from the area where I covered games, and I covered her as a player, as a 15, 16, 17-year-old player, and she's taken her team to the NCAA tournament for the first time. She's been there 12 years, so they trusted her, put the faith, kept the faith, and she's rewarded them. I think it is kind of a family there. They're not going to make any waves. Maybe they can win one though. And so, shout out Stacey Terry Hudson of San Diego State and El Capitan High School, where I just moved from that area.
Yeah, I mean, I one thing I was kind of pissed is that we were struggling to find actual lines on a lot of the women's thing. Like, I could find the game and I could find who wins, but a couple of people asked me, who are you betting for the women's Final Four? If I could find a place to bet it, I would definitely be betting it because I want to see what South Carolina's number is, because I kind of really have some good ideas of the women's bracket.
All right, well, I don't know what books you're looking at. I'm going to show you my plays. I'm on USC and USC. How about that? I like both USCs, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, you're talking about 2 players who made the All-American team on the same exact team for the first time. So first 2 years of their career only happened a couple times in the history of women's basketball. So that's not as that far on a limb, but yeah, there are a lot of things that I would like. So what book did you use to bet that?
Yeah, I've been hanging out at Circa and also some of the Vegas books. I want to share this with you, Sean, if I may, real quick.
Yes.
I know you're a little bit of an investor. I don't know if you use Robinhood at all, but Robinhood has just started to include championship markets with their products. Even here in Vegas, I was surprised that they were able to circumvent the tough
future contracts.
Futures contracts. That's right. Not only though, but they have game by game as well. Futures contracts for each game as well. So have I been playing around a little bit with my balance? Maybe so, Sean. But you can see the way they have it here with some of the women's games. Here's, for example, let me pick a close one here: Richmond and Georgia Tech, and take a look here at the futures contracts there. Yeah. The way they have it on Robinhood. You can pick them right there, and you actually could find a few. And maybe because it's a new market, maybe not everyone. I would imagine there are people that hammer it out that you're not going to find very much variance in those markets with the books. But hey, to me, 4 and 5% difference is a major difference and worthy of a plunk down $100 here, $100 there, if it's my side, And again, no spreads in those though. Just those contracts are money line type of things. But it was real interesting there. And Sign Flexible says, "How about Kalishi?" And I think that's what they're using is either a format of that or in conjunction with that company. I really didn't look into it that close because it just started yesterday. But anybody on Robinhood, anybody near us, I don't know, they probably wouldn't be watching us, Sean, if they're in a state they can't bet. But or if they're like you and they can't find any women's action, I just showed you.
There are plenty of people that are watch us in states that they can't bet, and there's plenty of people that are on part of Nuke the House that are in states.
Well, sure. I mean, and I've kept all my offshores accounts as well, even though I'm here in Vegas. Don't tell them. Don't tell the books here, but maybe I kept my old address turned on there, and since everything's in crypto now, anyways.
Yeah, it's a little interesting when they come to you and they're like, "Hey, we gave you free money to play with, things that I haven't used in years," and I'll be like, "All right, well, I'll take a couple things. Just if you're giving me your money to bet with, not a problem. I will throw some things out there to be able to sit there." And
4-2, the Heat here. Anybody not watching the games? I have a live scoreboard behind me. If you're up on the big screen, you can see here the Heat and the Pistons, all of Sean's games, these college games, all live with live numbers. So you don't have to look at my ugly mug. We always look at Sean. He's half sex symbol, half prop king here.
Yeah, the hair really helps give that out. So,
oh yeah, no, we're gonna kill him, you and I, brother.
So we are going to move to the 8 o'clock games. People want to have extra time and stuff like that. We're starting to get the lineups are all solidified, so we know who's playing. Zion's going to go again, and he's going to go against Minnesota. We talked about this game. I don't see this game there. I took the -13 as well. I just don't know how you can't take that to start with. The way the Pelicans have been playing, the way the as hot as the Wolves have been playing, to basically start with. But one thing that happens anytime there's a mismatch game where they're heavily favorites, Ant shoots a ton of threes. So he's going to he shot I think 11 threes last game, only made one. The game before he hit the 3.5 for us without any issue. So I'm going to play Ant's threes over 3.5. I think think in these games when he thinks they're going to win the game without any issue, the whole goal is, how do I not get hurt? And I can just kind of stand on the outside, fire up threes, and see what happens. So with that thinking, I like the ability of this game. Similar thing as well. Then the other thing I like to look at is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Anytime I think there's going to be a miss out, Walker's going to play more. Walker's a proven scorer when he's on the floor and he gets his minutes. His points total is at a ridiculous 7.5. I've taken the 7.5. I've also took the 10 at plus money. So if you don't want to pay any juice, it's not a lot of juice at the 7.5. But if you want to take the 10 at plus 172, I like that as well. I think both come home for us without really much of a sweat, to be honest with you. So I put a unit on the 7.5, and I put a half a unit on the 10 at plus 172.
Yeah, he's gone over his current DK prop, I believe, in 7 of his last 10 with a +4 on that. So,
yeah, anytime you can go Walker, I mean, he's going to kick a couple threes. The Pelicans are terrible. There's no Trey Murphy tonight for them. It's going to be Alvarado and CJ McCollum. Zion doesn't like the guard on the perimeter. And when he does, he fouls. So I don't see that being any of an issue. I mean, really, I see this game being over pretty quickly.
That's great. Look, I don't want to. I'm on Minnesota. I gave it out as a premium. I'm on here because of your guys' generosity. So I'm not gonna hog my plays. I'm with you, Sean. I laid it. It's up to 13.5 now.
Yeah. What'd you get it at? Just wondering.
13.
13. Yeah, that's what I just took the 13. Yeah. I'm perfectly fine.
We could have had cheaper. I was waiting a little bit. My late release, my late premium NBA card is a card that comes out half an hour before the first tip. I mean, look, everyone says, oh, you know, the lineups and everything. I agree with that. Actually, I make picks in the morning. You know that I make a ton of picks in the morning. But you know what? A lot of that's based on my speculation, and you can take advantage. I'm kind of down a little bit when some people say you can't bet these until you know. You should probably be trying to speculate and take advantage of the line if you think some certain player is going to be in or out. You don't go crazy, but you've got to get a jump sometimes on that line to take advantage there, especially if you feel confident about it. That's part of the deal here when you're following the NBA. So, yeah,
definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. You take an educated guess, and that there where you look, you sit there and say, okay, is this guy going to go? And you also got to take how many times does this guy always show up as questionable in play? So at this point in the season, you see Luka questionable. Most of the time, he's going to go. Just what they've shown, he's just going to go. You've seen Jokic questionable. All of the time, he's going to go in there. The other thing, I'll give you a real sneaky thing. If you look at the transactions of the teams and see what they did with their two-way players. Because if their two-way players are available for the game tonight, and for teams that don't know, guys have got 2 guys signed on every team that basically play in the G League or he can play in the NBA. They just have to announce that he's going to go or there. The beat reporters will tell you that so-and-so is ready to is available tonight. If he's available 100% times, he goes to play in the NBA. Which tells you which 2 guys or 1 guy or 2 guy is going to sit tonight for the regular team because they're bringing up an extra body to be able to go. Like you saw that with the Tatum one. We were on that. We were on Porzingis points. We're on a lot of things with that, with Holiday, other guys with that. We're like, those guys are all going to get a great shot because I know Tatum's not going to go because I've already looked at the thing and then they said both two-way players are playing. Jaylen Brown was out. Nobody else was questionable. The only logical answer was going to be Tatum wasn't going to go. So those are things that you want to look at and react to. But you don't want to take a ton of plays because you can get burned really, really quickly. If you look up and all of a sudden it's, okay, I thought all these guys were going to be out. Now all these guys are in. The other thing, though, you got to find a book that actually still gives you lines. FanDuel and DraftKings are quick to pull every single guy that's questionable. And not only that, they'll pull the whole team. Like you just don't have guys that, all right, you just can't bet this team. And you got 4 guys from the other team and you're trying to figure out, okay, do I actually want to even look at that? So if you got like a Bet365 or Bovada, those ones tend to leave everybody out there. MGM is another one that tends to leave the guys out there. So you can kind of look. I don't know. Are you having issues with X tonight?
Say it again, brother.
Are you having issues with X tonight?
No. It might be in your, with what's going on. I do want to do this. So we do have breaking news right now, Sean, regarding the NCAA tournament game here. You may be seeing it there. Just see Matt Rogers, the MVP of the Patriot League. He is coming out of the second half locker room on crutches. He is done for the night with American trailing in this game by 8 points, and their star player, the most valuable player of that conference, is out tonight of the game. They're down here 1 minute in, 50-42, the Mount on top, and Rogers out for the game.
Yeah.
Current line here real quick. And by the way, I think let me see. I think Princeton kind of ended up going off on Iowa State right after I mentioned it. But let me at least clean this up here on the current line here in the tournament game, if I can get it and see how that has moved. Oh, not quite up here. I think I'm seeing maybe there are some adjustments coming in from the books. A couple books are off right now, so I'll get back to you on that. But definitely,
yeah, it's big news. I mean, it's big news, but it looks like the Mount should take care of business. But we'll see. There's a lot of game left. But that's definitely a big loss for American.
2 games top of the hour, Sean. North Alabama and Bradley Furman in North Texas. Anything?
Where did I have that? I don't think I had anything in that game.
Okay, I'm going to give out Bradley here, favorite in this one. It's all the way up to 4.5, even 5 at some of the sharp books right now. We gave it out this morning at a lower number on my show this morning, but Bradley against Northern Alabama. My chat was all over Bradley as well. Dayton and FAU, talked about that game. I'm sorry, Furman and North Texas. Also coming up top of the hour, and you have North Texas favored there by 8.5, 131.5. A rare, 131.5. The total's gone up considerably. North Texas is a team that plays a lot of unders, but it does seem like the sharp move is kind of to the over here. Now, we know it's not a conference game or anything where maybe North Texas can, really use their will and grind out those conference games, but maybe against Furman as a big favorite, you might look for it to go over here, I would think, in this one, even at 131.5.
Yeah, and the numbers moved in the Bradley game. It was 3.5. It moved to 4.5. I mean, if you're going to take this, I took a thing where Bradley and North Texas money lines. I could get that at minus 118. I'm perfectly fine with that little two-team parlay. I do that more in college basketball than taking lines. But the play I do like, since we're really diving into the NAT, is UCI Irvine minus 7.5. That's a play that's there. I like that up to 10. So
I already did it.
A couple points of value. I really love this UC Irvine team. You're playing a North Colorado team that really, really doesn't like to defend. I think that's going to work in their favor. The total's blown up. I mean, we started at like 148 and it's up to 153.5. So you can't do anything on the total. So we're getting some love for the New Mexico Lobos coming in here. They play tomorrow, don't they?
Yeah, they're not. They're maybe just rooting them along here. Look, I mean, Sean, you heard it. You heard the stats. I know you did about this Mountain West Conference and this awful, awful spread record. It's not just short term. These guys are hitting 27% over the last 12 years against the spread. That's let me correct. Let me quantify it as a 8 seed or higher Mountain, and they're rarely inside those seeds anyways. But the Mountain West, absolutely dreadful. I'm not getting down on Jared. He's our good buddy, and I hope the Lobos do something. I hope any of these teams. I actually kind of want to get on Colorado State because Memphis is so piss poor against the spread. But Colorado State came a favorite, so we'll see.
From principle, I got to take Memphis. I think Memphis, and we'll break down into there. But yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to get on Colorado State, but when you're now paying, giving points to a team that's more athletic than you, and your whole goal is, okay, well, you've been playing well lately, and they may not have their point guard. They still won the conference tournament without their point guard. Yes, they have some major issues on offense, and they kind of get in a buggle. And I've gone back and forth this game. I've read a bunch of things on Colorado State. That's a team I really haven't followed. And I was like, all right, I'm taking Colorado State. Then it's minus 2.5. And I'm like, I'm not laying points with them. That's not happening. I think this game is going to be really, really close. I think this is a great game to try to take live. I may start off with Memphis and some points in pocket. And kind of take it from there, because there's always that one game in the tournament where everybody's like, well, this is there. And that seems to be the popular one. And that game typically doesn't go the way people thought it was going to go. And like, that's the sexy pick. That's the pick everybody likes. That's you're picking an 11 seed. I'm smart. I'm picking the 11 seed to go through. Hardaway's been there. He's had very much teams with much more size, but athletically, they're loads better than Colorado State. If they can turn Colorado State over, I can see Memphis pulling this out here. But there's definitely some lulls in offense where they just don't score.
Let me fix one note. New Mexico is on Friday in that game against Marquette. Of course, they're an underdog. And I mentioned that Bradley game and about to tip. It should be noted, like I said, my chat was still on Bradley. You've talked about the line move. There's no doubt that two of their best 3 players, 2 starters, are out of this game. I think they're out because they're transferring. Zeke Montgomery and Darius Hannah. I know that's caked into the line and was caked into the line already, although I think the information kind of just came out this morning that they both were out, but the beat writers were already talking about that. So, they're not going to pull a fast one on the line. I don't know. Maybe they would be much more of a favorite against a team like North Alabama with those players in there. Maybe you're getting a little bit of public that doesn't follow it as closely when you're talking about tournament, although this is the NIT. It's not going to have that huge public volume here. So just thought it was interesting. The line continued to go up despite the fact that 2 of the top 3 players on this Bradley, and it's not like they've been out for half the season. They've been out. They're done right now. Pretty much. Maybe one of them missed the last game. I'm not sure, but it's not like they were in there the whole season and are out right now in the postseason. So
yeah, you get that a lot in the Missouri Valley Conference. Southern ended up their games and their league scorer immediately hopped in the portal and already left. 2 of the other guys that hopped in the portal, they were actually able to save one of them to come back as their second league scorer. That's the biggest issue. And we're going to talk bracket in a second. I'm going to pivot here to the NBA just because we had 3 8:00 games. We've talked about one. The guys in the Nuke know I've already gave out plays for the other 2, so I'll let that settle for a little bit for them, and I'll go into the other ones that we talked about. So you got the Knicks and the Spurs. If you've been sitting under a rock, the Spurs basically offense lately is Stephen Castle and Devin Vassell. Keldon Johnson scoring 10 to 13 points. Going to be very interesting versus Knicks teams that's really stops dribble penetration, which is really how Stephen Castle scores. If he doesn't get into the paint and get layups, I don't know if he's scoring 20 points. So I don't really like him to score 20 points. But since the injury to Jalen Brunson, the guy who's picked up the pace is Josh Hart. Josh Hart had a double-double last week, last game. 6.5 assists is the way to go tonight. We're taking that at -104. Josh Hart to get 6.5 assists. I've sprinkled the double-double. If he goes after the boards, he's going to get that. In his previous games, he didn't go after the boards versus Miami. He went after the boards like crazy. He had 13 of them. You're getting a nice double-double right around -115. It's a pretty nice bet if you want to take, because his rebounds is 10.5. I don't want to take 10.5 because if he gets his double-double, he's there. Hasn't really been scoring as much. His point total is under. It's been around 10, 11 points. They're trying to give you 13.5 in this game. That's not something I love in this game, but I do love that double-double and the assist. So I'm going to take a half unit on the double-double, and I'm going to take a full unit on the over 6.5 assist. Won't be shocked if he gets 8. It's probably a way to ladder that to 10. Is probably not a bad bet as well, looking at this game. So you can get the 172 on the 8 assist. I'm going to take that for personally. On a personal play, I think I gave that as personal. Did I give that personal? Yeah, I gave that as personal play. I'm going to take that with the Nuggets money line. So that's just a half unit for me on the great assist. I like the Knicks in this game. I think they shouldn't have any issue kind of dispatching the Spurs in this one. Kind of interesting. Some of the late games are very, very interesting when we really kind of dive into them. I will tell you, I've lost 20 units in the last 5 days closing parlays with the 10 o'clock game. Matt Pretzel, if he was here, will flat out know we lost 8 units with the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. I lost 5 units the other night with who the Lakers play? The Denver game. The Denver Golden State game. So I'm working to try to get that last parlay that I like to take just for me in a different game and almost on a different day, just so I can hedge off, because it is definitely not there. So I'm kind of putting the team I don't want to win as the team tonight, just because everybody knows how much I love the Lakers. So most of my parlays are ending with the Lakers +2. Strictly because I don't want the Lakers to win. So they will either, but I can hedge off of that if it gets to that game. So that's just me personally giving it there. Then we'll talk to Philly OKC game. Everybody and their mother is out. We'll just go with that. Everybody and their mother is out. Dieng's not playing. Dort's not playing. Alexander's not playing. Hartenstein's not playing. Kasai Wallace is the latest guy not playing. J-Dub's out. So OKC is basically Aaron Wiggins and Dylan Jones. That's who's going to primary score for them. Why do I say Dylan Jones? Dylan Jones was a G League guy who scores a lot of points for them in the summer league. A guy that they like to give the ball and kind of try to play that Jalen Williams number. They have that. Caruso is listed as going. Now, early they thought he was going to start, but now he's not going to start. So it's kind of there. I've done a couple things. I'm surprised Holmgren is playing in this game. I wonder how many minutes he plays because there's a couple bets I'm going to take in this. One, we're on Aaron Wiggins over 18.5 points. We gave that in the chat about noon. So that's the bet to play. We are going to take Dylan Jones. We're going to take Dylan Jones at over 8.5 points. We're going to take that for half a unit. I think he obliterates this number. I think he basically plays the Aaron Wiggins type spot. He's going to hit some threes. He's going to drive inside. Dylan Jones is going to get plenty of points here versus Sixers team. They're going to play wide open. That's just kind of what they've been doing. I think from a Sixers standpoint, you're not going to have those great defenses. Quentin Grimes is at 23.5. He scored 40. He scored 38. You have to take Quentin Grimes. You have to take Quentin Grimes. I gave it a 24.5. It dropped to 23.5. For the life of me, couldn't tell you why it dropped to 23.5. But you just have to take Quentin Grimes right now. He is continually proving to that Harrison not only messed up giving up Doncic, that he gave up basically Quentin Grimes because he wanted Caleb Martin for the playoffs versus an unproven Quentin Grimes is just been a absolute ludicrous move. But Grimes has been on an absolute tear. Grimes has been on so much of a tear that if you look at his points and rebounds, points and assists, all those kind of fun things, they're a joke because he's obliterated those numbers. But he's obliterated those numbers because his points prop, he's beat by 10 to 15 points. So he's going to beat those numbers consistently if you want to take. So I don't mind anybody who wants to nibble at all three. I would kind of say points and rebounds is probably the least matter. The assists kind of was going through.
When you're averaging over 30 points a game coming out of, I don't want to say out of nowhere. We know Quentin Grimes has
it was points only. So he's not going to, he's probably going to shoot a lot of threes. Dylan Jones will, but Dylan Jones is going to start at small forward tonight. So that wasn't line on Dylan Jones. We're not taking 8.5 threes. That would be kind of ridiculous. But I am taking Dylan Jones over 8.5 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that puts.
That's why you said it. Damn it. I actually wrote 8.5 threes. Because I was looking at his threes right when I was saying that too. No, I was saying points. I thought Caruso was going to get a ton of run. That was the only worry I kind of had with Grimes in this game. That Caruso was going to start and he was basically going to be able to shut down Grimes, which may be the case on times, especially if Grimes starts going off. But I think Aaron Wiggins, we already talked about, goes off. I'm so shocked Chet's playing in this game. I do like Justin Edwards at 11.5 points. He tends to kind of fall off at the end of the game, but he's been scoring at 18 versus Houston, at 11 the game before. He's going to be plenty of time. You're not going to have some of the guys that've been playing. Dowden's not going tonight. Bona's not going tonight. Should get extra minutes with the rest of the guys. I took Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, at a double-double. The last time he got a chance where I thought he'd start tonight. He's not going to start, but I still think he's going to get considerable minutes. I like the double-double at plus 174. I I think he's definitely going to have a really good chance to get there. And like I said, I don't expect much to see of Chet tonight. If he's doing anything but just standing on the perimeter and shooting threes, I would be absolutely shocked. Because
he had that terrific game against Portland, basically his best game of the season just a couple weeks ago. Yeah. When he got that run, he got 36 minutes of playing time and finished with 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Remember the triple-double.
Yeah, I can't see them risking throwing Chet out there for a large amount of minutes in this game. I think the game's going to also be entertaining. I think the 227.5 is a joke. No Sixers game has been close to 227.5 in almost any day in the last couple of weeks because they're just running up and down the floor. There's no attempt to play defense. I mean, you're talking about 180 versus the Rockets to go into overtime, 255 versus the Mavs, 112 was the Pacers game. That was probably the closest. Then you had 223, then 250, then back to 280. I think OKC is going to be perfectly fine just running with them. I really do. And I kind of like the over 27.5 as well in this game. We are getting some news on the Lakers game because it's off the books. So something's happening.
Okay.
They're probably confirming Doncic's play or Jokic is going to play and Gordon's going to play and all the guys that we expect basically to play are probably going to go. So Bradley off to a nice 11-0 start. Yep. Good job, Trap God. Yep. Again, I have no TV whatsoever tonight. So I'm just watching an iPad, which means I got to change it every single time I want to watch a different game.
Mount St. Mary's pulling away here, Sean, 64-51. Also, note this, Sean, I don't know if you caught this. So they kind of took off there in the second quarter, Dallas and Indy, looking more like what we were originally expecting. You mentioned the players that were in and out of the game, and that total dropped drastically, 6 or 7 points. But we're on pace for an over now here at halftime at 68-57. The Pacers put up kind of a big number there in the second quarter. Both teams did 36-35 Dallas in the second quarter. And right now they're at 125 here at halftime. So it went over for sure. In the first half after that big point drop. You were mentioning the personnel occurrences in that game. Also, Houston leading the Magic 56-52 at halftime.
Yeah. So pretty interesting game. I mean, the Rockets, Magic is probably the one game you'd want on TV. OKC has opened up the game with the 7-0 run to start the game. Now I'm there. Surprise. Jalen Williams is in the game. He's not listed in the starting lineup, but he started at power forward.
But I think we had him. You had him in the start. I mean,
in my head, I had him in the starting lineup. He's got a chance.
My report, I have a. Funny, I still use my fantasy tools, even though I'm in Vegas now. I just never stop subscribing because I like having them so much. I mean, it just pisses me off.
Actually, turns out to be a lot. You get a lot of guys listed as out way before any of the books list the guys out for some reason. This guy's out, so he's not going tonight, and you're like,
well, that's why I mentioned Williams. I thought he was going to be. It looked like in the game. So, but like you said, we'll see what their front court ends up looking like there, especially if they're having to switch Jones a little bit into the front court some. So,
Jones is off to 2 rebounds to start the game. Really, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. It's 10-0 OKC.
Timeout.
I mean, this is the kind of showing that the Lakers are -4.5. So I got to see the information on that. Let's see if we can find out what's going on with that. Well, Luka's playing, and we have no information on Denver. That's what we're looking at. So,
okay,
yeah. So still trying to figure out who's going for Denver. But we know Luka's going. We know Rui, LeBron, and Maxey are out again. So.
Okay. Well, the reports that were kind of coming in anyways within the last couple of minutes were that seemed to be more on the Denver side that that both the Nuggets stars will kind of be in the game, but the lines moved. You said to the Lakers, right? Here,
-4.
That doesn't sound. Yeah, that
Well,
sounds.
I think they value Luka so much being in this game, so they're just throwing a 1-4. They still got 4 guys technically GTD for Denver. Oh yeah, Williams started. He hit a 3, so he's got 3, 1, and 1 in the first quarter so far. Off to a good start. Pistons not off to a great start. They're down 10 at the end of 1. Adebayo's got 9 points. Hero's got 9 points. Ware and Robinson's got 4. We got 4 points from Tobias. We got 4 points from Cunningham. That needs to change. To get going, and Malik Beasley's hit his first 3. He's kind of fallen off after he was on a absolute tear from 3. Easton's got 4, 4, and 4 at halftime. I'd like that to be a little bit higher. Jabari's got 7, so that's nice. On Orlando's side, you basically have Paolo Pancaro, 18 points, and KCP with 10. So 3 points still for Joseph. We're still waiting to see if he wants to take another shot. Kai Jones making his first start at the books would have gave it to me. I would have been all over his double-double. He's 7 and 7 at halftime. PJ's got 15. Started to get it going after that first 0 for 5 start. Hardy's got 10 at halftime. We need 4 more points to hit that. So that should be pretty good.
Just come real quick on Jokic, Murray, Doncic, all expected to play. This looks like the report coming in.
Well, you kind of knew that. I mean, they sat the guys first Golden State. The only reason you're doing that is saying, all right, we want everyone ready to go when we play the Lakers. Now, they were embarrassed the last time they played the Lakers. Malone's just got to talk to the refs. That's all he's got to do. All he's got to do is say a couple things. One, when they're double teaming, they're fouling the hell out of Jokic consistently. You've got to call it. 2, Malone's got to adjust Gordon to shift over to the corner, have more 4 out with the 1 guy out, and the Lakers are going to leave a wide open 3. There's nothing you can do. And the Nuggets will just have to hit their 3s. They kept on trying to make that cross pass to the other side of the baseline, and they did it a couple times in the first half, and then they just went to it consistently and never adjusted. He's got to adjust tonight. We'll see if he does. Should be. I think Denver really, really wants this game. I kind of like Denver tonight to win. Like I said, everyone knows I'm not a big fan of the Lakers anyway, so I think they're flawed. But they can shoot their way out of it. They can't play any defense. And their 3-point defenses, everyone's, oh, look at the numbers. The numbers are basically guys being wide open, just missing shots. Watch any Laker game. Watch how many times Luka pushes off. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. I was laughing that the other night that, who was it? Got called for the push off of Mikal Bridges. And I was like, that's the same exact thing Luka does on every single play, especially he pushes off on the perimeter more than any guard I've ever seen and not called. His elbow flicks out all the time. And what I mean by that, you're allowed to be like that. That's perfectly fine, but you can't go like that. You can't extend it. He does it on every shot before he shoots. And I'm like, oh, look, he got space. We got space because he pushed the guy. This wasn't a great skill. And he's a great shooter. Don't get me wrong, but he gets open space because he pushes off consistently. He does it on down low. He does it on the perimeter more than any guard in the league. He's basically the new James Harden. Harden's probably the only other guy who used to do it that much that he does it. Yeah. So especially nobody plays getting towards this way. Most of these guys just can't shoot. OKC is up 17-2.
Yeah, and the Spurs are doing a nice job too here out the gate right now for Coach Johnson. 15-9 timeout Knicks here, I believe, right now. Also want to throw out one more. The Colorado Avalanche have tied the game 1-1 right now with Toronto. 13 to go in the second period in our lone hockey game tonight.
Yeah, so if you look at the Knicks started off really bad against Miami, and they won that game by like 15 or something. Yeah, Sean, the mount continues to move on. We'll take that.
We're 15 now, Sean.
Yeah, that game's done. About to crash over like 8 minutes to go.
They just got
20-3.
Oh gosh, Bradley. They don't need those players. I hope it didn't scare anybody here. I know we said we're on Bradley. I said it too. I know I quantified it later on talking about those players, but we did say Bradley there. And also the Heat 10 points up on the Pistons early in the second quarter as well. But Mount St. Mary's, what happened, Sean? They had one of those emphatic dunks that, yeah, there may be 10 minutes left in the game, but they felt like that particular dunk was the moment there, especially with the American star out for the rest of the game. So about to build this lead up to 20, it feels like, in another blowout here. And what I've been talking about this week was, Sean, that the tournament will expand. Nobody can stop it. We could all bark and whine and complain, but they're going to basically swallow up the NIT, probably get rid of the NIT, and put a bunch of more play-in games for earlier in the week. And you'll have got to get rid of the conference champions probably playing in play-in games and give them a break and move them along. But just more, it'll be either, it, 96 or 104, whatever it's going to be. And they'll just break up the NIT and make a bigger NCAA tournament probably within the next 3 to 5 years.
I don't think it goes that bad. I think it goes to 72.
It might be gradual. I don't think they're going to stop though.
The issue when you start to have at least know who's in which tournament as far as accepted bids, like don't declare a team into your bracket that already accepted a bid into another basketball tournament is not a very good look for either tournament. So hopefully that doesn't happen. For those of you who are not aware, I'm sure you know the school. Who was the school?
Sean, did you ask me what the school? You froze, yes. And then yes, I did see this story. One school accepted a bid to 2 separate, right?
Yeah. Final.
I saw the story come up a couple of times. I never looked at it.
Yeah, I got to say, so maybe the chat knows. So for those who don't know, they accepted a bid as the CBI and then got announced in the NIT tournament.
And Sean, didn't you ever? I know you're married to I think you're married to your high school sweetheart, but I mean, didn't you accept a girl that wanted to take you to the dance, and then maybe your wife came along?
I got married in my early
college. Okay. Well, yeah. Maybe early, asked to the prom, one girl, and then maybe the prettier girl came along.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that they had to decide which tournament to play for. And obviously they chose the NIT. UC Riverside. Yeah, that's the name of the team.
They belong in the NIT for sure, I would think.
So was never told he was up for the NIT and got announced in the NIT tournament selection. My one question is, who has the NIT tournament selection on?
Who
it's not on CBS.
No, it's not. Yeah, no.
On the internet somewhere that just says, "Hey."
In fact, it wouldn't be crazy. I wouldn't put it past these guys a little bit. Not even know. I know they should know better, but maybe they just, hey, I guess you could accept one bid and say, "Hey, we'll get back to you. We're still waiting for the NIT." But I want to make note of one move here. It looks like Northern Iowa's taking a little bit of action. Look at this, Sean, down to 9 or 8.5 here at post time. Yep. Here against SMU, 40 minutes to go.
Blow their wad to start this game. We're gonna take Obi Toppin at 15 points. He's got 10 points at halftime. I definitely think they get back into this. He's definitely gonna get enough volume to score 5 more points. So I'm gonna take Obi Toppin at 14 over 14.5 points, 15 plus. So those in the chat already know I already took this, but I haven't had a chance to say it on the show. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that. I was looking at some other options and plays. PJ's got 15 at the half. His thing's at 23.5. I took that personally. You can get that at plus 102. So it's a pretty interesting line there.
Kamara is probable here for Portland, just coming out.
Yeah. He hasn't played in the last couple games, so it's not that big of a loss that you'd expect it to be. And we've got a ton of things on the 10 o'clock games. A lot of these quarters just getting ready to start here.
Murray doubtful tonight for the Nuggets. That's the move. That's that Laker move right there.
I also see Jokic doubtful.
Okay, I'm showing. Okay, we'll see. I'm going to look to confirm that. I've got him as question. Man, all the way up to 5 now. You called it.
Not playing. Yeah. They said they're leaning towards not playing. Now, remember, I've got 3 parlays right now closing on the Lakers. My closing team parlays are the most cursed thing there could be. So I continue to put in more parlays closing on the Lakers. So we'll see if the curse is able to come through for me tonight. But right now, a lot of game left. We'll see how it kind of goes through.
Grant ruled out as well here for Portland.
Who?
Grant.
Oh, yeah. Grant's been out for a while. He's been missed the last couple games. Jabari Walker's out. Robert Williams is never playing probably again. I thought they should have traded him as soon as he had the one game that was healthy. That contract is nobody talks about it, but he basically just suckered them into $36 million. Maybe might get 15 games into that contract.
John, I want to ask you with this Mavericks roster right now and them having the big problems that they are, even putting together a complete team because of their money, the way they've gone about it. They're kind of out of space a lot of times. Is that affecting them? I mean, other than the fact that they're after Davis went out of anything, is there more to do with this situation with their actual numbers and the amount of players they're able to carry because of the? It looks like this is another area where the general manager is screwed up.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a game where you're basically looking at. I mean, we talked about the general manager, but once they lost AD officially for the season, their goal was to try to make the lottery. So they've kind of went about doing that and tried to be halfway focused, halfway kind of still somewhat competitive. Let's play young guys. But the issue is, I mean, you had veterans that come to that. PJ Washington, for one thing, trait he has, a lot of people, he's a gamer. He likes to play basketball. So when he was healthy, he told the Mavericks to play him. And regardless, that's something they want to do because they know he's going to go out there and score 20, 25 points. And they don't really want to win. But when they didn't have PJ, they were running out lines of you had Clay, but Clay was playing half-ass. If you watch that game, he's basically just out there. I'm going to shoot a 3. I may duck. I'm not really running and chasing guys on defense anymore. There was no size in there. I mean, without Lively, without Gafford, that was the big thing. I still think if this team would have stayed healthy, they would have been dangerous in the playoffs with AD, with Lively, with Gafford, with Kyrie. But Kyrie got hurt. Davis, that it is the worst thing that could happen to Nico Harrison ever. It's just the worst thing that could happen. It's been absolutely just terrible for all these other guys to go down because Kyrie's got 1-year deal. Then he's got to decide if he's going to come back on his player option. So he can walk. And then you end up with AD, but now you still don't have a guard. You don't have the playmaker that he had. So at that point, people are saying, well, they should just turn around and play AD. Fathead, I do like that. He's got 7 already at the third quarter. It's minus 162, though. That's the only issue. Trying to get that at 9.5, kind of there. So I got to kind of watch it to see if it drops a little bit. I'm not paying minus 162. But I do like that over 9.5. You can find that there. So we're looking for at different games. We'll get into the 9 o'clock game. Everybody knows we got the Wizards.
The game of the night. I'm sure this is going to be your most heavily bet prop game.
It would be the game I'd be watching if I could actually watch
TV. You're busy. I do try to preview every game on my morning show. Even this one got kicked to the curb.
I mean, these are two of my fun teams. If you're watching teams that just want to play and play their hardest, because they're just a bunch of young guys for the most part, and they're trying their best to win a basketball game, is Utah and Portland. Now, I think the coaching staffs are purposely sometimes sinking Utah based on the guys that are playing and not playing. But yeah, it's still a fun team to watch play basketball. Very nice things watching Kessler just get into there. And they're guys like we just talked about with PJ Washington who just want to play. Kessler just wants to play. He doesn't care if they're not supposed to win. He's going to go out there and rebound the basketball like crazy. The good news is they also have a bunch of shooters who can't shoot consistently. So there's a lot of offensive rebound capabilities with him being the tallest guy on the floor. So Jeremy Sohan is going to has started tonight for the Spurs. I did not catch that. I kind of like that move though. I'm a really big Sohan fan there. And he's going to get Kai Jones has got his double-double. He's 11-11 in his first start for the Mavericks. And they're within 5. They're going to fall off here in the fourth quarter, but right now they're coming into the third quarter, 11-5 run to start it. Timeout, Pacers. Easton's up to 8, so that's nice. Getting on there. Green got a second assist. We'll see how that goes. He's got 6 rebounds again tonight. Very nice night, M. Joseph has got 5. We need 1 point from Joseph. Tough game, 6-point game. That's going to go back and forth. Pistons have cut it to 5. Duran's got 5 and 5. Harris has got 4 and 2. Basically, everybody on the Pistons has 4. What I mean by that, Schrader's got 4. Beasley's got 4. Holland's got 4. Cunningham's got 4. Thompson's got 4. Harris has got 4. So a bunch of 4s. Adebayo is the guy leading. He's got 18 points in the second quarter. Hero's got 9. So it's kind of surprised that they're struggling with Adebayo. The Knicks we talked about, team we like tonight is down 16-27. It's hard to get assists if your team can't make a basket. So this is the second straight game where the first quarter the Knicks looked like shit. So we may have some opportunities there to see what's available live. Minnesota's up by 8 on the Pels. McCollum's got 6. Evis Missy has got 6. I always pronounce the announcer pronounces it different almost every time I watch it. Ant's got his first 3, which is there. Walker's into the game, which is good to see. So hopefully we'll get his points pretty early. But it's early lead, low scoring. OKC is just throttled Philly. They're up 14 in the first quarter. Grimes does have 9, though. So we talked about whether Grimes can be able to score. He's going to be on pace to get about 15, 16 at halftime, and that 24 and a half is going to be a joke. Jalen Williams has got 9, 4, and 4. So he's going after a triple-double tonight. Would be his second triple-double and his second one in a row after he started a game. Something to keep an eye on. We got plus money on the double-double. FanDuel sometimes offers things to be able to get a triple-double, but surprisingly, they're not offering shit. In this game, it's 40-23. Aaron Wiggins, for the most part, is just standing pat, doing nothing. Only 3 points for Wiggins, 3 points for Jones. But again, we're still in the first quarter, so plenty of time. Ben Carlson, the other white center that they get to play, is been able to get in. We're waiting for the lineups to be released in the Washington-Utah game. I will pause there, and you can kind of go through what's happening in college basketball.
Yeah, for sure, Sean. They're about to wrap it up here with Mount St. Mary's only up by 11. A little bit of close the gap here for American. Good on them. We'll see. 3:30 to go here. St. Joe's leading UAB right now, 49. That's falling right on the number. Still 9 minutes to go, but right on the number right now there. St. Joe's leading. Also, George Mason pulling away from Samford. Looking good here. Looking like a tournament team, dare I say, Sean. 59-35. They weren't going to get invited unless they won their tournament, I guess. But they were pretty good this year. They could probably beat a couple of teams for sure in the tournament field. Dayton all over Florida Atlantic tonight. 68-49. Flyers all over the Owls. Bradley's doubled up on North Alabama, 26-13. And they're still first half, but maybe we're going to get that over pace with Furman leading 25-24, doing a good job here right now against North Texas. And Sean, I don't know if I jinxed it. It's not, it's still going to be close, but I had mentioned Princeton. They went on a big run in that women's play-in game where I said, hey, I like Iowa State. And then all of a sudden when I looked up, the score here, it was 38-25. Well, Iowa State's come all the way back, and now they are covering the spread. They outscored them 27-9 in the third quarter and lead 62-57 there with 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Coming up, top of the hour, Southern and UC San Diego. I don't know, call me crazy. I tried to handicap it. I gave this under every benefit of the doubt, Sean, because I want to go under a number like this. I just can't do it. I'm going over the 111. Probably I'll give out the highest number here, 112.5. Southern and UC San Diego. Are you about to play a video or a song here?
I am. We got a winner, so we finally got to play something here. So we're gonna go back to my favorite.
What time it is? It's time to go. Ring that bell.
An actual show play. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. An actual show favorite hits. Corey Joseph. They keep giving us 5.5, and he keeps hitting with no problem whatsoever. So 8 points for Corey Joseph. So that hits. That's our first show play. We will take that without any issues, and we move on. So, all right. So
one over in that game. That's my official over in Southern UCSD 112.5. You can get lower out there if you so dare here, and if you're going under, good on you in that one. With a total like that, to me, I'm looking to go under first when researching that game. I followed this UCSD team a little bit this year on ESPN Plus, so I've been following them a little bit, and I'm taking over still in that one.
The Pistons have taken the lead, so they're back in front. I think it was essentially what we thought they would be. So 15-point game for the Houston right now, and they're in a timeout. So Heat have called a timeout. Cunningham has got off his 4 points. Duran's on his double-double pace that he's back on. So it's 8-6. Beasley's hit his second three, trying to get a pack for that. Knicks have cut it to 9. Hart gets his first assist, 4 rebounds for him. So we'll take that. Still basically being read by Karl Anthony Towns. All right. We are waiting for this Washington-Utah lineup. So, and then we will dive into college basketball tomorrow, tournament bets, kind of break down each game, each line, each team. Ready to go. We know who's going to play for the Wizards. AJ Johnson is going to get a second start. Tristan Vukcevic, one of my favorite guys to bet, if I can get a line, and they won't give me any line. Last year, we were playing them all through the last month of the season. Big 7-footer who can step out, hits threes, crashes on the boards. Not a chance we get shit for him tonight. So, and then Alex Sarr is going to get to play. So this will be an interesting battle with him versus Walker Kessler. But if you've been paying attention to what Alex Sarr has been doing, he had 30 points, then he had 20 points, and he should have had more, but the second unit basically took a 14-point lead to 23, and he never saw the floor again in the fourth quarter. So didn't play any minutes of the fourth quarter. has come straight out early and been able to get points. They've gone to him. He's hit 3+3s in his last 3 games. You can get that at +248. They're going to want to step Kessler out of the paint. So Star's getting his 3 opportunities. I like that at +148. And I'm going to take his points over at 15.5. So there. It will be should be Kessler tonight. There is some late rumors that Filipkowski could get in here this, but looks like still waiting on confirmation from Utah, so we'll wait on that. AJ Johnson's a very interesting guy. A couple people said, who is this guy? This is a kid like Lonzo Ball, went to Australia, played in with grown men instead of going to college, then came back. Was surprisingly drafted really early by the Milwaukee Bucks at 23rd. Never made their team. The kid's lightning quick. Has no jump shot whatsoever. Absolutely none. But kind of like Russell Westbrook, likes to get rebounds. Not the same frame as Russell Wilkie. Definitely built more wiry. But he's got tremendous hops, tremendous speed. He gets his rebounds, assists, had a pretty nice game last game. If you look at his PRA, he had 19 on the PRA. So him and 11.5 points, not a chance in hell would I ever bet that, because I don't think he scores 11.5 points the rest of the year. 4.5 rebounds, though, at plus money is a pretty interesting side, because he is going to really go after it. Or you could take the rebounds assist, which is what I'm actually going to give as a play personally myself. I'm going to take that for a half unit at over 8.5 points. 8.5 rebounds assists. Sorry, not points. So we're taking SAR. I'm going to take the 3s for a half unit at plus 148. I'm just going to sprinkle the rebounds, but I'm going to take the over 8.5 rebounds assist for AJ Johnson at minus 113. This game's going to be a down game. The other interesting guy is clearly one of the best shooters on the team is going to get a chance to start, which is Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington is probably the most consistent of the young shooters between Johnson and Shar there. So Carrington, I've been riding 3.5 rebounds. They've got that juiced way too much, so I'm not going to be on that tonight. I do kind of want to look at the points. Points are at 12.5. I'm going to take a small piece on that, but nothing official. I thought
you have Carrington he'll be in that starting lineup tonight, you say. Man, I'm going to go over in this game, Sean, the way you're talking. I know we're talking about bad teams and the totals actually dropped here. I believe. Maybe it's dropped.
Yeah, the problem is trying to get the Wizards consistently to score. So if you look at the last couple of games,
they do seem to be able to fulfill their quota against bad teams.
Yes. So these two teams did play, and it was 125-122. So yeah, Jokic is out. That was a couple of weeks ago. Correct.
Oh, so I'm gonna play it under here. I'm gonna play it over here. I'm gonna put this. I'm going over.
A lot of people had some really good games in that game. When you looked at Filipkowski started instead of Kessler, and he had a monster game. Yeah, we're definitely going to be on Westbrook here as soon as the book actually gives me Westbrook's name to be able to actually take. Carrington had a pretty decent day, especially assist-wise. He did get to start. He got 9 assists. He's at 5.5 tonight. Not a bad bet or a bad look as well. From a Jazz perspective, one of my favorite players, Isaiah Collier, had a great game. It was one of his highest points. He had 19 points this game versus this Wizards team. So maybe something to look at from there. When you kind of look at the games, when Markkanen plays and Kessler plays, Collier kind of gets his assist. But when those guys don't, he really doesn't. Because the other guys that are forced on the floor are really good shooters. So if you're watching some of the Wizards games, Justin Champagnie has been playing really well, but that was kind of him in the starting lineup. They moved him out of the starting lineup and then kind of down. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's Westbrook season. A lot of times you can get those rebounds. We double-double, triple-double, those kind of things. I'll see if FanDuel is actually posting anything. So I'm going to take Bub Carrington over 5.5 assists. I like him on the floor. I think he's going to be the de facto point guard. I don't think they're going to really give the ball to AJ Johnson that much to play point guard. And I'm going to take Isaiah Collier over 10.5 points. So,
Okay.
So I will post this on.
All right. Well, I'm going over then at, I think I'm going to go over at 235. It looks like the best I can find. DraftKings has it juiced down here a little bit. Also saw Aldama ruled in. Are you in on Aldama tonight?
This Memphis team has been killing me. Aldama's going to play. I'm waiting to see if Pippen's going to play. Do you know if that's happening?
Yeah, I think let me see. I do have a report here on that.
I gotta wait to line him to see if he's going to be ruled in or he's going to play. With Triple J back, he's not going to
probable, Sean.
Yeah. So he's not going to start. This team doesn't play any defense.
Joker out now. Joker out officially here.
Yeah, Joker's going to be out. Murray's going to be out. I guess putting those two games Braun out. Yeah.
I know our viewers can handle it. I'm bouncing between games and not saying the. But yeah, I mean, well, sometimes that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you kind of go in blindly. I laid the Lakers this morning at -2, and there is a little bit of a gut feel with some of those, Sean, no doubt, when you're speculating on those injuries. And again, it seems to have worked out.
Yeah,
American game.
I've got the curse against you, so we'll see if this works. So the line's got the 4.5. I don't know why it went to 4.5. That just didn't make any sense to me. But the one play that's been in play for there is Reeves over 3.5 threes. Is just basically been money. The other thing you have to basically look at is Michael Porter over 2.5 threes. If he's going to be forced to be the lead scorer, again, he's going to jack up more threes like he did the last game. He's been hit this 3 out of the last 5. We talked about the Lakers' no-nothing defense of just to really hope you miss. Then I would definitely be on that as well, which is what I've taken. So I'm trying to post some of these plays now. You can bear with me 1 second.
Okay, you do your thing. Mount St. Mary's has just defeated American, and Mount St. Mary's advances here in the NCAA tournament. They've knocked out American 83-72. We talked about the easy win there and the easy over for sure, especially after American's top player went out. And waiting on deck here for Mount St. Mary's, none other than the Duke Blue Devils. Good luck in that one, Mount St. Mary's. But hey, you know what? Duke kind of fools around sometimes with some of these good unheralded teams. St. Joseph.
I don't think Flag plays tomorrow.
No, I don't think. Why put him in there at this point? You can get it done without him. And on a sprained ankle, look, here's the thing. We've all done it, right? We've all played some basketball. We sprained our ankle. We hate it. We know that. Look, nowadays, right? You put him in the the way they have it now. You can get this fixed up, but the longer you wait and the more you give yourself a chance to not irritate it any further or make it any worse. Again, sometimes when you have a sprained ankle and just get out there, you do move it a little bit and it works out pretty good. Still, you want to have this guy all the way through here. Anybody, Sean, who is kind of an anti-Cooper Flag, want to go flash in the pan, whatever, I don't see it. I think this guy's an all-NBA team, an all-NBA player eventually when he gets to the league, probably pretty quickly too.
Yeah, I think he has the talent to be an absolute stud. If you see how he competed against the Olympic team, kind of leans that way for him to be able to come into the league and actually play really, really well early.
Bradley by 18. We're coming to the end of the first half. Still a couple ticks left there. Reaching halftime now. Furman 34, North Texas 32. We've got an upset. so far with Furman leading here at halftime. They win the first half.
Ring that bell. Ring that bell. There we go. Jalen Hardy, even on reduced minutes, gets the 13.5 points. So second show play comes through. We'll take that. So
The other I make fun. Holden might be watching. I every time you do it. And I don't do this every time, but sometimes when you play the Blue Oyster Cult song, I type in some of my favorite lyrics, and Holden cannot figure it out. And he just says, "I don't know what you're talking about, Ramon. 40,000 men and women every day. What does that even mean?"
This is a very interesting. So we have a confirmed Utah lineup. And since Washington is going with the two towers, Utah has started to go with the two towers themselves. What does that mean? That means Filipkowski and Kessler are going to be on the floor at the same time.
Okay.
And you're going to have Vukcevic and Alex Sarr on the floor at the same time as well. So interesting because Filipkowski rebounds, but I kind of like his points more than his rebounds. But they've moved that to 12.5. That sucks.
Washington, for as bad as they are, I mean, they have guys who do defend. It's just that, as a whole, as a team.
Yep. You know who's come back? The Sixers have come back and made this a 9-point game.
Okay. Down 9 here, okay, to the Thunder. Yep. Halftime, Miami 60, Detroit 58 there. And, Dallas and Indiana, they're going to be at 91-90 here, Dallas leading. I went over in that game as a high roller premium and was feeling a little awkward there after that big point drop, but maybe I stand correct. Maybe I had it right in the end there. I understood what you were saying, and I don't think you were fading it because of the players that were out of there. Houston by 16 over Orlando, end of 3, 88-72. And the Pelicans up by 3, Sean, 46-43, midway through the second.
That is the shocker that the Pelicans are winning. I mean, this is where the only issue you have with that is Ant, when that happens, he's just going to start taking a bunch of twos because he's just going to drive and go through. He's 1 for 4 from 3 there. Walker's got 4 points. DiVincenzo's got 3. You look at the Pels, they're being led by Zion. When Zion has actually really played, he's been an absolute beast. Just an absolute beast. 25, 30-point guy. The issue is he gets to a point and they just he's only playing 22, 23 minutes. They're not playing him much. And if they would, and they're so worried about getting him hurt. That's the question what you have. As soon as he comes off the floor, where's the scoring come from? The other thing, the Mavericks are winning. And it's not on PJ Washington, who hasn't played that much. He's 6 of 14 with 26 minutes. It's Jaden Hardy with 16 points. Naj Marshall with 11. Max Christie with 14. And it's 91-90 going into the fourth quarter. So we've seen this story before. Toppin's got 13. We need 2 more points from Toppin to hit our live play. We already hit our pre-flop play. And we'll kind of see how this works out here. So it should be a very interesting game going down the stretch. Here, we've got 10 points from Eason. We need 12.5. We got Jabari Smith at 9. We need 12.5. Kind of an echo. Not getting the assist really from Green. He actually is scoring. They're up 16. Magic hit a lull. We hit the Corey Joseph already in this game. Pistons have cut it to 2 at the half. Led by basically Cade Cunningham with 13. I'll have to look and see if there's anything we can take there live. Adebayo, 20 points at the first half. Playing really well. Hero was 16. The rest of the guys are watching. Chloe Ware, though, is having a very nice game. The Knicks are now down 21. So much for the Knicks getting together the second quarter. Not happening. Josh Hart does have 3 assists, though, so he's halfway to what we need. So we will take that as well. We question whether Stefan Castle can score versus Nick defense. He's got 10 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Paul's also got 10. Mama Shkushvili's got 13. He's your leading scorer for the Spurs.
God bless you.
Yeah. God bless me. Grimes has got 9. I thought he had 10 before, so I guess he lost a port. Cheeky Okiki, the old Magic, has got a double-double in the second quarter. Who could have predicted that? Wiggins has got 9, so he started to get the scoring on. Jalen's still stuck at 9, 4, and 4. He should be coming back. The Wizards game's going to tip off in about 15 minutes. So we are getting ready for that. And yeah, I've got 7 plays from the Wizards game. I keep telling myself I'm not having plays for the Wizards game because it's kicking my ass. But
All right, I'm running out of TVs here, but maybe I'd have to put the Wizards on one of them. I was going to skip it.
yeah, I love Kessler getting rebounds. I mean, that stuff has almost been free. So even extended numbers from Kessler have been free. So if you want to take some alts on his thing, and you can say, oh, his alts, it's 11.5. What alts can you possibly take? 14, 15. 12 the last game, 19 the game before, 14 the game before that, 10 the game before that, and 25 the previous game. So it's a pretty nice. He's hitting at such a consistent pace that I mean, I really think, especially in this game, the Wizards are going to miss a ton of shots. The only worry I have is the 2 towers that Filipkowski is going to go in there and steal some rebounds that he typically would have. But we'll see how this plays. It's going to be very interesting going with this 2-tower lineup here for the Wizards. And how long do they actually stay with it will be the kind of question. And what did the Jazz do when they pulled Vukcevic off the floor? Because I guess they're going to play Rashawn Holmes because he's dressed tonight. Middleton's not going either, by the way. So have faith in Ainge. I like this Jazz team. I look at this Jazz team when healthy. Now, key thing is when healthy. Keontae George has shown he can be a 15, 20-point scorer. Colin Sexton has shown he can be a 15 to 18-point scorer pretty consistently. Kessler's one of the best young big men in the game. And then you have John Collins. John Collins is a 15 and 10 guy every night, or 15 and 8 guy every night. And he just goes after it. The issue with the Jazz is the same issue. I love Hardy, but when is he going to it kind of goes through this cycle. They're a nice, fun team. They've got nice pieces, but they don't ever learn to play defense. So they score a lot of points. They get a lot of stats. Guys look good. Never get there because none of these guys turn out the superstars because they don't win because they pull these guys and every year and they're just trying to sit there and stay afloat. I mean, Cooper Flagg, does that come through and he play power forward? Could be, but you're still going to have to get some guys to play defense. But they've got a lot of pieces that a lot of teams would really, really want. Not really sure as starters, but there's a lot of guys. Keontae George would be heavily sought after. Colin Sexton. The problem with both those two guys is they'd be better if they were 6'5", not 6'2", 6'3". Is Keontae George 6'2"? Is he even 6'2", or is it 6 foot? Because he's proven he can hit shots. It's just a question of, So we are getting some Denver Lakers stuff now. I'm going to try to look at that right away because that's what seems what the chat wants to say there. Russell Westbrook, 17.5 points. Not what I want to go after. Can he do it? Yeah, he can do it. But typically when he does this, the free money is him having a double-double. But that's at minus 135. So I'm just going to bet the assist at over 9.5, coming off 16 and 11 in that game. And I'm going to bet his rebounds. At least they were smart and they didn't give you a 5.5 like they give you last game because that was a joke. So I'm going to take the plus money bet on the 7.5 rebounds. and I'm going to take the minus 106 at 9.5 assist. I'm going to sprinkle the treble. I'll see what that happens, but it's not an official play. I'm taking a quarter unit at a plus 460.
Got a few minutes here before we get that tip off. Scheduled to go at 9:18 Eastern time now, 6:16 Pacific for Xavier and Texas. Texas a 2.5-point dog, 151.5 here. Fourth quarter, Rockets by 13
Final.
over the Mavs. Did I get there? Did we get there, Sean? I guess it's going to matter on the price. Iowa State did beat Princeton 68-63. I said you could get in at minus 2.5, 3.5 there. So hopefully it did work out for everybody. I got the full game by a hook, Sean, by my early bet, but we'll take that anyway. So hopefully everyone kind of got on it there. If you did with in that one with the final score 68-63. Iowa State wins that play-in game against Princeton. Set to tip here. I've got the over with the women's matchup, Southern and UC San Diego. You can get mostly 111.5 out there right now. That's a play here on the show for me.
All right. Definitely like that. What is your so I said we'll break down as soon as we finish this. We've got an hour before the 3 NBA games, and we'll go through those in detail. So I'm just going to hold off on those. We went through, got some of the Westbrook stuff. That's what we wanted. So, yeah, it was free money versus Golden State. I mean, you taking an alts, have your thing. He definitely does have very good games against the Lakers. Best of luck. I mean, you're taking 30 plus. It's tons of points for Gordon. Can he do it 2 nights in a row? We'll see. But it's not a bad bet as long as you're not just giving up the farm to take 8-1 bet here. But yeah. Let's talk tournament. So I'm going to pull up the tournament just so I can make sure we go through, and we'll go through one by one, all the games. And I'm going to try to pull up the bracket so I don't change my bracket for my men's tournament. Also, DM me if you're in the Discord, if you're interested, doing a bracket challenge. I know Nuke the House has one. I've always had one as well. Mine is just a small $10 one, $10 bracket. Essentially, it's almost winner takes all.
Oh, I play for 20 or more.
Yep. We've got bigger brackets.
Well,
yeah, but I just do a small one. So if you're interested, let me know. DM me. I'll send you the link. I'll Venmo, PayPal, whatever you want to do. For those who know, I do a lot of fantasy stuff. I do that in my Discord. Been doing that for about 25 years, 26 years. Discord's been around for about 8 or 9, I think. And right now I can't remember. Every year it just gets weird. So we do baseball, hockey, basketball, football. If you're interested, DM me on the Discord. Sean's Fox Plays. That's my Twitter handle. My Discord's also there. You can click that, DM me. And I'll give you the link of that if you're ever interested, if that's your thing as well. So let's look up the NCAA bracket and we'll go through. Auburn, Alabama State, not much thing. We're both going to take Auburn as well. First game of the night, day tomorrow, is Louisville Creighton. I honestly think if they played this game 10 times, it'd be 6-4.
Yeah, I'm bunched up here. I took a futures with Creighton back a ways now. I mean, looking back on it, maybe it still feels like the price was pretty good, but I have them to reach the Final Four in a play at a pretty good price. But go ahead, you want to talk about this one a little more?
No, I mean, this is the game I like. I've been on Louisville for a while. Everyone doesn't like the ACC on this, but I think Louisville wins this game. I think their outside shooting, their three-point shooting. I think Creighton's big issue is Colt Brenner. I think Louisville has the size to at least kind of match up and have some things where they can make it difficult for him. I don't think they're going to be able to match him in any way, shape, function, or form. But I think this is going to be a game, as long as they shoot well. 3 is better than 2. I like Louisville to get this done early on, strictly. But again, I think this game's a toss-up. This probably is going to be a great game to bet live. Take the plus money with either side. Both teams are probably going to lead at multiple times during this game. And you can just kind of live off the spread. Nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah, I might be just tied to this futures play. I'm not going to hedge out of it. I'll just roll with it kind of as my investment in this game, I think.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the specials and things of that nature that you can kind of get that are pretty interesting, sometimes better than just, hey, taking this team to win this game. Game everybody wants to talk about, because I know this is one of the darling 12s out there that everybody loves. UC San Diego versus Michigan. Tell us who you got, Ramon. Tell me why.
Well, I feel a little biased here to UC San Diego, but where are my points? I mean, everyone's on it. It's the most popular 12-5 out there, so that immediately puts up the worrisome sign here. But this team is pretty terrific, no doubt about it. Took that crazy rule. They couldn't even make it.
All right, ring the bell again. PJ Washington just hit, so we will cash the PJ Washington over 18.5. We'll take that to the bank. So sorry to interrupt you there.
No. Again, I think everyone, these games have been beaten to death. It's just that I do want to try to make a case for UC San Diego here against Michigan. It looks to me like, other than maybe VCU, they're one of the top mid-major teams really in the tournament. They've proven it. They have the best spread record there for a time. They may still have the best spread record in the country right now overall for this season. So, and they're getting a few points here. They're pretty terrific with Tate Jones, their star player. This team has had a coach in there for 12 years now. He's seen this whole transition from D2, where they were a top caliber team really year in and year out in D2, to make the migration to D1, had to forego any tournament play for 5 years. That shouldn't be allowed anymore in the day of NIL. That rule should probably be thrown out or adjusted somehow. So they arrive with plenty in their back pocket. I don't think they're necessarily a fluke at all. They rolled through that conference. Yeah, Irvine was pretty good in conference play, but UCSD proved to be the best. So I want to find my way to my Tritons here against Michigan. And look, I think if anything for the bracketeers out there, if you will, this might be the spot where you would take a 5 seed, because the 12 is going to be so popular. You might even get type of a, I don't know how much it'll be, but maybe 60-40, maybe 65-35 split with, they'll still pick Michigan, the blind bracket, pickers, if you will, if you're in an office pool or something like that. I think UCSD is still a little bit, popular. In the smaller the pool, right, Sean? The smaller the pool, maybe you'll want to go with UCSD. Usually it's the other way around. In a smaller pool, you want to stick to the chalk, but maybe they're just so popular. I guess you got to analyze your opponents as well. Are you in with a bunch of ladies making brackets? Or I don't want to say it like that, with all due respect to our, Sean's lady fans in here. Don't tell his wife.
So there's plenty of things that you look at, and I agree exactly what you're saying. When you're in a pool that's larger, you want to basically kind of go more riskier. When you're in a pool that's smaller, you want to be more conservative, because any kind of risk may just kill you, where you could have just took chalk. Now, I will flat out tell you, I see this tournament as chalk. It might be the chalkiest I've seen in the last 20 years.
It's going to be like that in NIL, Sean.
And it's going to be with, when we talk about NAL, I think it's more the transfer portal than NIL.
Right?
But the two go hand in hand. Yeah, we said we liked Hardy a lot. He clearly, even though reduced minutes, went off. He has 23 points. The guy can score. He always consistently scores. Indiana can't score right now. They're actually losing by 11. Only put up 33 points in the second half, which is absolutely atrocious versus a Dallas team that really has no size. So it's very shocking.
I still feel okay on this reduced total. I kind of came in the middle of it. I didn't know it was going to fall that far, but again, I may have, mistimed the personnel a little bit, but still 6 minutes to go. You mentioned 112, 101.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this game. We still got time. Like I said, I agree with you. It's a spot where you really want to take UC San Diego, and UC San Diego is a really good team. They can play with anybody. Their leading scorer averages 20 points a game. In his non-conference games, showed he could play with anybody. But I really think this game's going to be won or lost by McGee. If McGee doesn't hit threes, I think they're going to struggle. That's the part where I see if he doesn't hit threes, I see Michigan winning this. If he's able to hit threes and make Michigan defend there, because I don't think Michigan's a really good scorer. I don't think they play a really good offense. They get bogged down at times. They don't really have a go-to guy that they kind of go with. So, all right, moving on to the next game, Texas A&M and Yale.
One thing I want to mention, though, Sean, real quick and this is an angle everybody's talked about with the UC San Diego game in Michigan. Michigan played that championship game on Sunday, obviously. This game is in Denver, and it's about as short as a turnaround you can get for Monday to or Sunday to Thursday. It's going to Denver. I think that's just a little bit of an angle there. Both teams got to go there. I get that, but Michigan's had to do it in kind of short notice. I don't know if that's a big deal, but go ahead.
Yep. Glad you cashed there, Fathead. Definitely was a good casher there with getting the plus money on JD Hardy. If you took that. All right. We got another casher, Tari Eason, 14 points. He comes through. Let's go. But we may fail on Jabari Smith. He has 11 unless he gets back in the game for whatever reason, up 9. We're going to fail by 2 points. Pistons making it a game, cut it to 3. Timeout, Miami. Yale, Texas A&M. A lot of people like Yale here. I think Yale's the better scoring team. The question is, can Texas A&M basically out athlete and really bog them down on the defense? You've got a very senior laden team on Yale. I'm not even trying to pronounce Polakaitic, whatever kid starts with the P. It's been there for years. They've been tournament proud. They can hit outside shots. They can drill threes. This is going to be a game is 3 better than 2. This reminds me a lot of this Wofford team a couple of years back. Not to say that they've got one guy who's going to hit 8 threes, but they have numerous guys that can light it up from 3. And that's kind of where I see kind of this game coming through. So,
yeah, look, to me, it feels light. I know the move has been here. Feels like a little bit, to Yale. My numbers have it a little bit higher here. So I'm SEC heavy here. And so maybe for me, this is one where I'm going to let some of the folks kind of try to take Yale here. It might be bracket. We're talking brackets here, Sean, for the most part, right?
We're talking bets. I'm looking at spreads right now. I'm going through talking at there. I mean, if you're talking a bracket, I can see you taking Yale because this is going to be a place where you pick up really big points in your bracket because a lot of people are going to Texas A&M. A lot of people are going to have Michigan. So you could get a 12-13 and basically have that up against. This is where UNC making the Elite 8 throws some things, especially if those two things. And I think a lot of things that should go into your pick. And there's things to have with bet. It's like, I like UNC in the Sweet 16. You can get that at 3-1. So I like them to beat Ole Miss, which I bet, and I like them to go through. So I've already gone ahead and bet. If I'm betting them to win that game, I took a little nibble, similar to what we do on points props, in USC in the Sweet 16 at 3-1. So, so killing the Thunder, UNC minus Ole Miss. Any take here?
Yeah, for sure. This one, maybe I'm waiting a little bit after the game last night to see if there's any more movement here in this one. For this one, of course, on Friday right now, 1.5 point favorite here for North Carolina over Ole Miss. Sean, I know I'm going to be on the under if I can buy out of the side a little bit. You're telling me to make a pick, but I feel like this is going to be an under game. It's like 150. What is it right now? I mean, it's already gone
156.
Oh God,
156.
really?
If Ole Miss
Is it going to be
stay
like
in the
that?
game. If
I
Ole
know
Miss-
everyone's going to look at that, what North Carolina did against San Diego State. I don't see it. I don't see it in the 150s here at all. I don't see that.
No, I can agree with that. I don't see it in the 150s. So, but I think this will definitely be UNC. So I actually jumped to the 21st. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to stay in the 20th. Sorry, that's my
Okay. No, I thought you were just going because I think that's all that you were going like in the regions there a little bit.
I was going in the order, yeah, kind of there, but I was
I
trying
don't
to
have a
stay.
problem with it unless you want to just keep it on the rails here for the folks.
I'll just keep it on there. We'll go through Friday, so we're not here 9 minutes there. So Thursday we could talk about the games that are going on Friday. BYU VCU. I go back and forth in this game. I have some tickets on VCU to make the Sweet 16 pre-flop in hand for very nice tickets.
Mhm.
The problem I have is this BYU team's about 25 years old across the board. Is the age going to be that big of a deal? And can VCU match the physicality that BYU is going to play with? I know kind of where I lean, but I go back and forth in this game. I think this game is a very interesting game to bet. I think this is it shows you that, hey, you've got a 6-11 and the line's 2. So
I'm probably leaning VCU here a little bit. I would think. Look, I like what BYU has done here. Maybe I might have been expecting a little bit more actually out of the Y this season. So, and again, about BYU and their their players and they're going on their missions and all that coming back. I think the opponents, I don't know about VCU, I didn't necessarily look into it, but remember, you're also dealing with college teams, maybe not so much this year, but yes, somewhat this year, where the kids are staying a year or two longer in college now. Might as well, if you're not going to get paid in the NBA, these guys are going to stay longer. I know that's an aside to the game itself, Sean, but I think that's what you're going to see, actually. That's why college basketball, and we know a lot of people like it better already than the pro game, but that's going to make the college game better. These players are going to be better. These games are going to be better, and talking about the expanded field. But no, I probably want to be with probably leaning toward the points here.
Yeah. I like VCU, obviously, since I'm in a Sweet 16 at a very nice price. Wisconsin, Montana. I want to think it's too many points at plus 16.5. That's kind of where my one thought is. I think Wisconsin wins the game. I think Montana makes it close to first half. Might be a first half Montana bet type deal. Yeah, they're close to home. They're definitely going to have the home crowd. But I'm not a massive fan of this Wisconsin team.
You are a massive fan of them?
No, I'm not a massive fan.
You're not. You don't. What about their transition this year to being, this is not your old man's Wisconsin or even your neighbor's Wisconsin. This isn't the same Wisconsin. They've totally changed their style this year to kind of they're kind of moving with the times a little bit. It doesn't necessarily affect them from a stand of wins and losses necessarily. I thought they did pretty well here, earning a 3 seed, but it's definitely a team. You've never seen a Wisconsin team like this. put up this many points in a season, average this many points in a season here. We might be against it here, Sean. I might be laying it.
Okay, you're laying the 16. All right, no problem. All right, looking at those games of the 21st, we'll roll down. Missouri Drake. Anyone who's watched a fan of the show has known I bet a lot of Missouri Valley Conference basketball. Drake can muck this game up. The issue Drake has is lack of size. That's the reason they slowed the pace down. They play very low-scoring games, very efficient team. Sturts is a hell of a player. He can hit outside shots. He can hit shots late in the clock. They can drive in and get things at will in the paint. I wonder how they're – and Missouri is a team that who knows? They show up one game. They don't show up the next game. Very inconsistent team. Not a tremendous scorer on the roster. Size becomes a little bit of an issue. They do have more size that you're going to have, but this is probably a very good lineup from a Drake perspective that you're not going versus a 6'10", 7'1" center, going versus 6'9" forward who basically kind of plays in a four-guard offense. So you should be able to match up with that. I like the 6 points with Drake. I think the game's a low-scoring game. I'm taking the 6 with Drake.
Low-scoring game. Got to take the points here. Like I said, I'm heavy SEC. I wish it was. I figured it would come 6.5. I was really hoping that it would be 8 or 8.5. I guess it kind of there were some reports early on that maybe there were some openers that high, but it really never has touched that since. So, no, I'm with you. I think Drake in the under for me right now is where I'd be headed.
Okay. All right. Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington. We'll just say Texas Tech and move on.
I want to at least throw a little bit of a spread reaction, I guess you can call it there at 15.5. That to me it feels a little bit light. I think Tech might be able to get that 18 to 20 point win actually in this one. These, Sean, the one area, what you talk about, even we've seen now our 16-1, we've experienced the 15-2. The 14-3 has happened somewhat more obviously, but right now it's a pretty big drought, if I'm not mistaken. So not only that, but ATS as well. So I'm gonna look to Tech here.
Yeah. So let's talk the fun game. Kansas, Arkansas. I don't know where to go.
You can't spell Kansas without Arkansas. I know that.
Correct. Can't spell Kansas without Arkansas. 100% there. The question is, and maybe I need to watch a little more Arkansas. I don't see a great team. I barely see a good team. I see major flaws in their team, especially from a turnover perspective. You see a very unproven team that hasn't really played well in big games. Kansas should be able to win the rebounding battle. They should have similar athletes to play against Arkansas. Both teams are going to turn the ball over, and it's going to be ugly basketball at times. My leaning is just take the points because I feel like I'll be able to get the points on the other side too.
No, I mean, I'm in a bit of a quandary. I don't know when and where and why or how I have a future on Kansas. It won't even if it wins, Sean, it won't even pay for all of my futures. It was such a bad bet. So I'm just going to try to take Arkansas right now on the points, and then I don't know, maybe they both can work out there a little bit. But 5.5 here, it's actually gone down at Penny to 5 or 4.5, I think. So
yeah, it's 5 right now. Yeah.
Okay, now I want Arkansas here. I'm kind of where a lot of people are with Kansas right now. Why they've fallen to this level, right? Look, we could still say they're Kansas, but remember Kansas won 18, 19, 20. How many conference championships in a row for 2 decades? And they don't do that anymore. So this is a different Kansas program right now. I'm not blaming Self. We're never going to fire him or anything like that. He's done an incredible job with the stewardship of the Jayhawks, but they're not Kansas right now anymore, I don't think. I think this is a close enough matchup to want to take the points. And even if Sean Pitcher says college ball has been ruined, I don't want to make anybody. I think it's better. I think it's better, but I'm not doing it to make Sean mad. I appreciate him very much in the chat.
I can see it. I'm going to go on the college ball a little bit on the ruin thing, but we'll hold off on that. St. John's, Omaha.
Yeah, don't let me get off the train here.
No, it's fine. We both have St. John's, Omaha, UCLA, Utah State. I've got UCLA winning, and I've got Tennessee over Wofford. It's not happening again.
Yeah, UCLA for me, this is one. Look, I've talked about the Mountain West and these dismal numbers against the spread. And I'm coming from a Mountain West guy, right, with San Diego State. We did make it to the national championship, and they're probably a little bit – you could treat them a little bit different despite what's happened in the last 2 tournaments, blowouts in both the last 2 tournaments for San Diego State. But Utah State here, I'm going to lump them in with the bad Mountain West right now, and I got UCLA in a blowout.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the UCLA. All right, so here's where I'm going to say where college ball has been ruined. The transfer portal, and this is one of the reasons the SEC schools are better, is they've sucked up all the players. So quite frankly, the best way to say it, their 2 deep is better than most of the other teams. So you have a lot of talent in the SEC played on multiple teams where teams can go 6-7 guys solid. And that's the part we're through. That's where I think why we're going to see a very chalky. I have a bet for you to make that everybody should throw at least $5 on it because I'm 100% sure in this. By the way, Greg Peterson, Jay Billis, 3 other guys from ESPN had Elite Eights of 1 versus 2. And I did my bracket the very first time, and I say I stay with what I have, and I ended up with 1 versus 2 in my very first bracket and everything I took because I was like, I don't see where that team can lose. Looking at who's in front of them. I mean, if you look at basically the top bracket, Auburn's going to play Maryland. Can Maryland beat Auburn? Yeah. Florida's going to play Maryland. Can Maryland beat Florida? I don't think depth-wise. I think we're there because once you get past the first 5 of Maryland, the bench is really, really bad. And if you can get any of those guys in foul trouble and the way Florida's been playing and the way they offensive rebound, I don't think Maryland can stay with them. Maryland had trouble with the way Michigan offensive rebounds and Michigan State. Florida does it better than both those teams. You go to the second half, St. John's. Nobody above them except maybe Texas Tech could really play with St. John's. They're going to play in Providence, next to home, then at MSG, and they're basically going to have home games until they make the Elite Eight. So Houston, there's nobody in. I mean, Gonzaga, Georgia, okay, maybe. I think that's probably their best chance to get beat. I don't think Purdue beats them. I don't think Clemson beats them. High Point could win that game versus Purdue too, which could kind of change some things. The bottom half of the bracket, Illinois is a fraud. I think whoever wins tonight at 9:00, we haven't even talked how that game's going. But I think they beat Illinois. Kentucky, they're just playing a bad Troy team. They should beat them. But I don't think Tennessee's not losing to UCLA, and I don't think Tennessee's losing to Kentucky. They beat them twice during the regular season.
Yeah.
8-7.
Yeah.
So you go to the other bracket, Bama. Bama's probably the one team if a 2 doesn't make it, probably happens. Duke, as long as Flag is healthy, but again, I don't think they play anybody. maybe Baylor. Baylor has the talent on the team, but hasn't played like it all year. But Duke has way more size than what Baylor has. Norchard O'Meara is a great rebounder, but again, he's 6'8". Duke's guy is 7'1", and he will be able to eat up Norchard O'Meara in that game. VJ Edcombe is good enough by himself to win that game. But with Knipple and Flag, if Flag plays, which I believe he will play in that sweet game to get to the sweet whatever the round of 32 is called. We talked about Auburn. Auburn's going to play Texas A&M, who they've taken care of. I think they actually split the season series, but Texas A&M has trouble scoring. And then Michigan State, there's nobody. I mean, North Carolina is probably who they're going to play to get to the Elite Eight. So you can get 120 to 1 on DraftKings that the lowest seed in the Elite Eight is a 2.
Yeah, Sean, I don't have any problem with taking these low seeds, especially if you're looking in your brackets. Now, if you want to pick one team to come out of the blue a little bit mid-range there, make sure you have 3 number ones going in with them if you're looking to win a modest size bracket pool. I don't know if anybody buys into this one. I know you probably do. Say what you want about Ken Palm or any of these other fine rating services, but if you look up and down, I think they compared it in the Ken Palm that 96% of the national champions since the turn of the century have had a top 20, going off the top of my head here, but like a top 20 Ken Palm offense. And 90% of the national champions have a top 30 Ken Palm defense. Only 8 teams fit that criteria in this tournament. All 4 number 1 seeds, second-seeded Tennessee, third-seeded Wisconsin, third-seeded Iowa State, and 8th-seeded Gonzaga. And they might technically be underseeded if you still think of what Gonzaga can do in any tournament bracket. So I don't know if you even need to look past those 8 teams to figure out a Final Four. Yeah, you could find like I said, the 4s are kind of doing pretty well. Maybe you want to throw a Tennessee out of there, but not for me. And not when it comes down to who's actually going to make it. So, like I said, I think the strategy still is pick all your upsets among the all those ones that we're familiar with, right? The 5-12s, if you will, the 4-13s, the 6-11s. A lot of people saying the 14-3, Sean, is the new 5-12, I think is what they're saying. So, look, I'd be still willing to go chalk in the end. Go ahead, mix it up. That's where you win, is picking just a few, not to go deep. Just pick a few in there that can win 1 or 2 games. Get those right. It'll send you on your way. But you might want to stay chalky, especially if you're going to try to put something in there beyond a 4 seed into the top, into the Final Four. Yeah, if you're looking to win the ESPN and get that 1 trillion bracket, not only do you have to get it right, but it has to fall right. And probably from what Sean said too, in talking about, yes, the one thing I do agree with, especially what Sean was saying, and maybe the correction on what I was saying about the tournament improving. Yes, the strong get stronger, unfortunately, but I'm kind of also looking at it as if we're trying to get some more athletes paid, and I think there's enough money to go around for many conferences. But nonetheless, I'm looking to stick with the chalk when it comes to getting into the Elite Eight and Final Four.
Yep. All right, looks like Josh Giddey is going to make his return for the Bulls tonight.
Good.
So he should be going. So we're going to look at some Josh Giddey props here. Looks like he will be a full go. I think I'm probably going to be on his 3s versus a Phoenix team that really doesn't guard the 3 at all. I'm going to take his points personally, but it's not going to be a regular play. But I'm going to take a half unit on his 3s over 1.5 at plus 120. He's been actually just obliterating this number. So Bacelis's numbers actually back down to earth too. I kind of shocked with this. They're begging you to take Nick Richards. They put it at 10.5. So many times when they put a point total of 10.5, there's a reason for that. It's a guy who doesn't get a lot of shots, and just by throwing that little half total, means he's got to take probably 2 more shots, and he doesn't really get the volume to hit. A lot of times that 10.5 will not hit. Bucelis, who's the king of 11 points at halftime, putting that line at 10.5, unless he's magically not going to start tonight. I like that a lot. I'm waiting for the confirmed lineup before that. I do know Bradley Beal will not go tonight. Grayson Allen will not go, and Plumlee will not go. We did get some very good games. We got the Pacers have taken the lead with 14 seconds on a Nembhard.
Yeah, they're at the line here shooting free throws. So what a game tonight. I don't feel bad now. I went in with that over, and that line move scared me. I got the worst of it, Sean, but no problem on that over.
Yeah, but Mathurin completely killed it. We're going to lose the top and bet. If for some reason he got stuck at 13 points and never took another shot, played a whole lot of minutes too. So who knows? The way this game's going, it could get overtime.
Indiana with a steal and a 3, 14 seconds left in the game, and Nembhard buries a 3. They stole it after they scored. Pacers ripped the ball away. Some quick passing, found Nembhard open, 3-pointer, 14.7 left, 131-130.
All right, so real quick thing, 14 seconds, Dallas, you got the ball. You're going to have PJ on the floor, Najee Marshall on the floor, Spencer Dinwiddie, Max Christie, and Hardy. Who takes the shot?
You're
it's going to be PJ Washington. Yeah. A little echo. We're fine with some echoes sometimes. It's perfectly fine. So we're waiting for confirmed things on these couple of these 10 o'clock games we've talked about together. Garland's out tonight for Cleveland. When Garland's out tonight, if you haven't been paying attention, Mitchell's over 9.5 rebounds and assists has been hitting consistently. He missed his rebounds last night, but he still hit his over 9.5 because he had a ton of assists last night. So trying to see what that's at right now. Probably is going to be a 12 since Garland's now ruled out. But looks like he's going to start a point guard. Let's look at if they're still going to give me a decent number. Yeah, they're going to kick it up.
We're down in the ball here, Sean. Mavs inbounding here.
Yep, and a foul.
Oh, yeah. Look at the bodies flying.
Jaden Hardy, they called it offensive.
What?
They called it offensive foul.
Away from the ball, right? Away from the ball.
Correct. Yeah. Jaden Hardy, who we were praising one time, but again, has a 2-cent head. Looks like he has. There.
Oh, I don't know. That one looked weird. I'm sure she had a good look at it, the official there, but you hate to see that, though.
The Knicks coming down from 20 down is down 10 now, going in with 5 minutes left of the third quarter. Timberwolves still can't get it together. Pistons still can't get it together. 5-point game there. A lot of games coming down to the end here. Should be very interesting to see here. So Nembhard's going to go to the line here. Chance to put the Pacers up 2.
Okay.
We'll see what happens in that game. Waiting for some cards. So we do have some confirmed lineups. Zach LaVine is going to be out. Sabonis is out for a week. So it's going to be back to JV. JV is going to go against Jared Allen. Should have a pretty decent match to be able to get his rebounds tonight. But there is no Zach LaVine. So Keon Ellis is going to step into the front court. Keegan Murray at 13.5. It's probably a very decent bet. Cavs coming here off a back-to-back. 16-game win streak done. Then they lose the next game. You play a Kings team that was kind of hitting some strides, and now it's kind of falling back from their wayside. Max Strus is the one that's been on fire, if you haven't been noticing. Getting in the starting lineup, having a massive game last week at 24 versus the Clippers. Before, he's been getting 9.5 as his prop. Tonight's prop is 10.5. It's just that little tiny point there, trying to get you to take a bite. And so, he's hit this. He's been close. He's going to get more minutes. So Jaden Hardy draws the foul down 3, and of course he misses the first free throw. The free throws are free. You got to be able to take them. So JV over 11.5 rebounds. There, I'm going to take there. I'm going to take Max Strus at 10 points at -125. And I'm going to give that in a second.
Texas up 21-13 early on here. 11.5 to go in the first half.
And we're on opposite sides here. You're on the Chalk SEC play, and I'm on Xavier. What did I just give? Any idea?
Yes.
True.
Maxi?
Yeah.
That women's game, Southern 19, UC San Diego 11, 4:45. That's at halftime, Sean. So gave out the over there, but UCSD could manage just 11 points in one half of basketball.
Did you say you found a book that allowed you to bet like women's Final Fours and stuff like that, futures?
Oh, I'll try to get that for you here and see if we can't turn you on there a little bit.
We're going to take DeMar DeRozan over 9.5 rebounds assist.
Okay.
DeRozan's been hitting this pretty regularly with Levine in. Without Levine in, he may be needing to score a little bit more, but I really think he's going to play more to the point. Malik Monk is probably going to be the increased scorer in this game. I like this. We're getting a nice price at it. 9.5 rebounds assist. 4-point game. The Pacers win. Pacers win. Win. Pistons are down 3. Tobias has got 11. We need 13.5. Beasley's back to his 3-point shooting, 16 points. Schroeder's got 8. We needed 10 tonight. We'll see if he gets a chance to get back in this game. Duncan Robinson's at 12. 12.5 was his number. We'll see if that comes through. Knicks are down 15. They had cut it to 10, and then they've gone on a little bit of run. We cash. Oh, we got to do the lineup, so we'll go to the All right, ring the bell, get that cowbell going. We will take Josh Hart over 6.5 assists, and we'll take that to the bank. So good play right there. Worked out real well. Like it. So I do like it when I only have to type guys' first names and just kind of go, okay, you know who he is. Final.
Yeah, the Toronto in regulation over Colorado tonight, 2-1. The Leafs win at home here in a near pick'em game, and just 2-1. They got the only goal in the third period. The first final is in. We still have one more game to come on the ice. It's a TNT doubleheader tonight, just about to go here in about 10 minutes. Seattle and Minnesota. Minnesota $1.65, 5.5 over 20. I'm going to try to take a stab tonight with the Kraken. They played last night. I get that, but they did look okay, and I'm going to try them here as a dog tonight on the road on the back-to-back.
All right, and we will do another.
Come on and dance for me, baby. Won't you show me a little action?
Why are we saying this?
You don't play that one. You don't play that one too much when Holden is here.
Well, Okay, that takes 6 wins. So sometimes, yeah, Holden doesn't allow me to get all the wins. I used to declare, so that's another win for us. That's Nikhil Alexander Walker. That's another win, so we'll take that to the bank. Nikhil Alexander Walker, he has 9 points with the third quarter, so Ant's got to hit his third 3, so we need one more 3 from Ant to come through for that. So things are going pretty well. It's going to be a good night. Maybe we don't need Holden here. It's going real well. The Thunder have put the beat down in the second half, and unfortunately, it's over 11.5 points. Told you it was too small. It's got 14 in the third quarter. So we will take another one. We'll cash and be really nice with.
Detroit's on a little bit of a run here. You said they took the lead. Miami kind of came back to it, but Detroit's looking pretty strong here all of a sudden. They're still down 3 with 6 minutes to go.
Why do we play We're Coming to number 1? Because we hit the pre-flop. Jalen Williams, double-double, plus 174. We will take that to the bank. Let's go. Plus 174 for Jalen Williams, 16, 12, and 7. On his way to possibly getting a triple-double. Dylan Jones has got 6. We need 8.5. Aaron Wiggins has got 18. We need 18.5. So that's going. Grimes has got 18. We need 20. So we'll see what happens here. We've still got the fourth quarter. The game has basically blown up. 18-33 run for the third quarter here. The Oklahoma is up 29. OKC is up 29. So there we've got a 44-41 game with the Wizards and Jazz. Sar's got 10 points. We need 6 more points for Sar to cash. Kobe Jones, the ex-Sacramento King, has come off the bench with 11 points tonight. Vukcevic with 6 points as well for that. Colin Sexton having a great game with 16 points. Oscar Tshiebwe is getting time. And when Oscar Tshiebwe plays, but no book will give you, he is
watching the G League
machine. He is a rebound machine. He will get double-digit rebounds, and no one will give you his rebounds at all at any point during the game. 104, 107, like you said, in the Pistons Heat game. 10 o'clock game's getting ready to start. We talked about Max Strus. We talked about DeRozan in the Cleveland game. Christian Braun will go. Jokic, Murray, and Strawther will be out for Denver, as we talked about. Allen, Beal, and Plumlee out. We're waiting to get confirmation on a couple games. And then I will hit the other 2 games if people were wondering of that. So we've got Memphis and Portland. If you've been sitting under a rock, Desmond Bane has been leading the charge for this Memphis team. They play 0 defense. I can't believe Max Strus is 9.5 points, minus 125. Did I mess that up in the chat?
No, Gerardo just asked about it. Maybe he missed it, or let me see. Are you putting
Desmond Bane
this for tonight, or?
Yeah, I put it in the Discord. Desmond Bane's coming off a 44-point night, but you got to remember that was versus Sacramento. He finally actually got lower rebounds, under 6.5 points. So they've really jacked up everything they have. They're giving him a 23.5 points. I'm not a big fan of that, but one thing I am kind of a fan, I'll see if I can get a decent number, is taking him at 20 points and 6 rebounds. You can get minus 125 on that. So it's a kind of a little performance double with this. And I'm going to take this personally. I really think that 6.5 rebounds is the interesting spot for him. Like when we were betting it before in the previous part of the year, it was 5.5. Trying to get the guard to get 6.5 rebounds is sometimes a little bit of a magic. Let's hope it works. We talked about Memphis doesn't play anything. If you haven't been watching, Anthony Simons is on fire. Anthony Simons has 4 of the last 5 games where he's hit over 4 threes. Anthony Simons has for the past 3 games where he's hit over 21.5 points. His line tonight is 21.5 points versus a Memphis team that doesn't play any defense. I don't think he'll have any issue getting there. I'm taking the 20.5 points. I'm taking the over 3.5 threes. I think the only way he gets there is if he hits the threes. So, but yeah, he's been on fire. Playing a team that doesn't play any defense. I like the numbers. So, and what I'll do is I'll take a half unit on the threes and I'm taking a full unit on the points.
Yeah. Also to go top of the hour, UC Irvine and Northern Colorado. I think Sean and I both rolled with the Anteaters in that one.
Yeah, we're both -7 on that one. I'll put that in the chat. I forgot to.
Tell you what, I sent out to my clients way earlier today, Sean, 150 over 151, 151.5. This one all the way up to 155.5. That's what I do. That's what I do.
You beat the line movement. That's what you want to do, and then kind of survive us there. So Kamara will go in this game, by the way.
Okay.
So Denny Avdia, I thought 2 straight games where he should have revenge against the Wizards for trading him away, but probably looks back. It's probably the greatest thing probably for his career to get traded away. Because he really has become the man in Portland. The one thing you also got to kind of look at this game is Zach Edey has a points rebounds prop of 17.5. And why do we look at Zach Edey? Because he hasn't been very consistent, but he's coming off 2 straight 12-8 games. Yeah, 12-8 in both games. Portland's going to play Donovan Clingan. Yes, who's going to make that difficult for Zach Edey to score. However, it also means it's going to keep Zach Edey on the floor. And as long as he's on the floor as longer, getting rebounds in the NBA, I believe, is one of the simplest things to do. If you watch any guy go after rebounds, it's really stay there and go after a rebound. If you want to go get a rebound, you can go get a rebound in the NBA. It's not difficult at all. I don't want to take his points. Yes, he's hit that twice with the 12.5. I don't really want to take the rebounds because he's right at the echelon where he should be. I'm going to take points and rebounds at plus 100 at 17.5 and be able to try to get there in 2 different categories. I am going to take the opposite, if you're wondering, on Clingan. I just haven't got to it yet.
Coming down the finish, Detroit and Miami, 1-point game, Heat leading, 3:40 left in that one. Another going to be a close finish here. The Pelicans continuing to hang in. They're still late in the third, 89 all right now. Spurs lead those Knicks by 11, just into the fourth quarter here. Thunder with that blowout today. That was one of my premiums today, Sean. You mentioned it. You asked me, and OKC, you talked about it already here on a roll tonight. Look, I'm still looking for spots against Sixers. I just not against a team that can sit out half their lineup and still with that depth of the Thunder. Their total blowout here, probably going to stay under as well. And 3 minutes ago, first half, Wizards 53, Jazz 49 there. So Wizards maybe found someone they can beat here on the road anyway. And that game,
don't call the Jazz so much. The Jazz are still fighting here. I mean,
I just can't, it's obviously you probably saw the story and you try to figure out why the Jazz are so, I know, we talk of tank mode, whatever, but these players are so, ruled out so consistently that it does look like something is up. And you saw the Shams Charania article about less than a week ago saying that the NBA is investigating the teams. It has nothing to do with gambling. It just has to do with, the tanking a little bit, and that the teams maybe are sitting the players that they should not be sitting, that maybe they are medically cleared, and then they are electing to sit them. And Charania said that I believe as many as 6 teams are being investigated by the league for arresting players inappropriately. We all know it, but that kind of makes it official when he puts it on blast in a lengthy article on ESPN.
So here's my question to you. All right. Did you watch that travesty, which was the NBA the TV game last night?
Give me my picks. My picks. What was the TV game last? That was another big schedule, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was the game that basically no one played. But the game that early on was you had Brooklyn versus Boston.
Okay. Yep. No, and I was on that under for sure in that game, Sean.
You had 3 women, and you had a whole thing because of Women's Month. You had nothing but women doing the game, color, broadcast, whatever.
Okay, I love that.
I like the idea that it was nice for them to do the game. It was a travesty. It was a travesty of monumental proportions. Go on Twitter and just review NBA TV, and you can see me and 50,000 other people all thought the same exact thing. At one point, it was trending that the NBA TV broadcast sucks. And in that game, the one thing I will like, which was very interesting, is announcers don't talk about tanking. You never hear that word in any broadcast in TNT or ESPN. Will they say, well, I believe they're tanking? That you won't hear at all. And you basically had Diamond DeShields, who was a WNBA player, say it 8 to 15 times during the game that, well, the Nets are tanking anyway, so they don't want to win this game anyway. So that's why you see Cam Johnson not shooting. He's just kind of going out there and trying to throw the ball to the younger guys and letting them put up shots. But if he wanted to score, he could score it. And we saw conversations of, I really liked it when Sam Hauser had a different haircut. That was talked about for 2 minutes of the game. The first quarter, I think there was actually 4 color commentaries done in the entire first quarter. They were talking about it felt like 3 girls sitting in the stands watching a basketball game and just having a general conversation of everything and anything. Some things were all about basketball. Nothing was about actually the game that was going on. Eventually, you had the 4 comments would be, oh, he hit a 3. Oh, did you see? Did you see? Let's see. We're up for breast cancer. We're going to go through this. It's like the game's going on. There's steals, there's baskets, there's misses, there's rebounds. You had absolutely nothing being talked about. It was an absolute travesty. That's why people on Twitter were just going nuts. They were like, we understand it's nice that you're doing this. This is a travesty. This is a travesty.
I'm usually all about this, and I just missed it. Maybe I was watching,
monumental proportions. That this was one of the worst games I've seen.
My little secret about my 10 TV setup here, Sean, or I guess with the computers sometimes on the games, but I do put closed captioning on every television, and sometimes I don't have sound because I think I can ingest more information. So that one got by me, and usually I'm all over that. So I'm sorry I missed that.
Well, I'm sure you can find it there on YouTube or somewhere, and it would be a great example of what not to do.
Okay.
I'm no offense to the women. I'm sure they tried a lot. They just don't know how. There was no one in there with experience. Like if you were going to put Doris Burke in there, who knows how a game should be called? She's great on ESPN. Understands the game, talks about plays, talks about the line, talks about how their angles and things of that nature. They talked about more about their shopping habits than I think anything that actually ended up in the game. 3 times they talked about players' wives. I mean, there's a point where it was just like,
final.
This is something that you should have like on a podcast. and not be there. I'm not trying to rip the women. I am ripping the women, but it killed me. So Josh Giddey's going to play, but he's not going to start.
Okay.
And Detroit takes the lead with 18 seconds to go.
Yeah, they did.
Shot clock violation, though. We'll get the ball in Miami.
Yeah, not going to get the money here. Also, want to correct something. They did send I better put this game on before I talk. They did send a correction. It's 40-20. They'd send halftime scoring correction here, just so I wasn't losing my mind there. They probably at the line service didn't realize that the game was played in quarters there. And so I was just reading off my line service. I said 11 points at halftime. Oh my God. It's obviously trending over here with Southern and UCSD. I said go over 11-ish, 11 and a half. It's 40-20 at halftime, though. UCSD is getting rocked pretty good by the Southern Tigers in this play-in game.
Yeah, it's not going well for them. Trying to make sure.
New Orleans is taking the lead here. Spurs by 16 with 8 minutes left. Oh, the Thunder just up by 37 now.
Yeah, I got to check into that and see if we hit what we have. Grimes is stuck on 18. He's 6 of 18. So we're still winning one. We hit our Wiggins bet. That cashes. Jones is still the only one playing. Jalen Williams gets his triple-double. I knew he was going to get a triple-double. We bet the double, but we should have bet the triple as well. So he gets a triple-double again. Second time starting, second time triple-double. Minnesota's still losing to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking.
And Wizards by a deuce here late in the first half. College games, Sean, this one's going to come down right to the spread, maybe down the wire. Bradley, 63-59 over North Alabama, 2 minutes. Just final seconds ticking off the clock here. North Texas going to be close to this money, but they are up by 11 with 4 seconds to go. Laying single digits here, mostly 9s. So the game is over now. North Texas has won and covered over Furman. Hey, look, Sean, I gave out, maybe I can get a song here. I gave out on the morning steam show this morning, North Texas. And I also had a premium pick winner for my subscribers on the over. A double winner right there on North Texas Furman. Thank you. Also, halftime, SMU 33, Northern Iowa 32. A pretty good game there right now.
Yeah, it should be a pretty decent game. Call a double timeout. That always means you've got a good clue of what's going on.
Dayton did end up beating FAU by 7 points there, so watch out for Dayton here in the NIT, I think.
Yeah, the NIT is always an interesting thing to play because you never know motivation. Guys are leaving. Guys that they're trying to figure out which team's going to be intact and which team's not. Is which team actually cares about winning and which team could care less is always a big thing to look forward. So it's kind of interesting going down there. So you do have to be very careful about your bets. So 18 seconds here. Heat are going to pass the ball in here. It's probably Tyler Hero time.
Hey, Sean, you're into this, and I'm gonna have to do a search on X to see if anybody, because we're not listening to the games here. But if you've been watching, keep an eye on the Xavier Texas. I know you're having some, but look at Texas. They are wearing their orange uniforms, and Xavier is wearing their blue uniforms. I'm wondering which team packed the wrong jerseys.
Interesting.
I don't think in the NCAA tournament if you come with the wrong jerseys, we're not going to penalize you, I don't think. But pretty sure in the NCAA tournament, you got to, one be your home and one be away. But just a little. I know you like those sort of things.
Yep. Tyler Hero gets fouled. Hits the first free throw.
Guess I need overtime. Can it happen?
it's got a really good chance at overtime here because it's going to be 5 seconds. Detroit ball here, most likely with the tie game. The way Hero shoots
All
free
right,
throws.
well, I've got Detroit on my high roller premiums here today, but that's okay. We've got some winners here rolling. We're probably not going to sweep them every night.
Got a tie ball game with 5 seconds to go. All right, so we're probably going to go, probably 15 more minutes?
Oh, hey, yeah, hey, you guys are, we can go, you guys are paying me by the hour if you want to go all night.
Utah takes the lead going into half. We have 127 points. Alex Sarr has 20 points at the half. So we cashed Alex Sarr. Actually, we did that one, so we can't play that one.
Oh, hey, now, baby.
The
I
Twin
would
Towers.
call myself a regular viewer of the live betting show with Sean Fox, but I did not know that the music was coordinated to the number of plays won. Did I misunderstand that?
I have a list of plays, yes, of 14 different songs. There has been a time on the old show, Chef and the Fox, that when we had a lot more soccer, and there's a time we actually duplicated all the play songs. We've had some very big nights at times.
Well, I said something. You go, that's my song for when I hit 6 in a row.
Yeah. All right. So 5 seconds to go. Pistons ball. They drill a 3.
Time. Yeah.
Pistons up 3 with 2 seconds to go.
You're ahead of me, apparently. You can give me the. I'm all about the spoilers. I'm not one of those guys. You can tell me. I've had bigger.
I'll let you finish out the last 2 seconds.
Oh, I just saw Cade bank it in home and win the game, Sean.
Well, technically, Miami still had a shot, but some other guy came through and blocked it. But yeah, we lose Tobias Harris.
That was on point. Straight away 3, Sean. You said it.
Yeah, straight away 3. 116, 113.
Boo!
Pistons.
I guess.
Over. Yeah, Knicks are down 11 with 6 minutes to go. Hart's got 7. It's got 7 rebounds, 7 assists. We talked about the double-double for him. The problem is he got in foul trouble, so we got 5 fouls. Was his issue. Mitchell Robinson's got a double-double. Carlton Towns got 26 and 7. OG's got 14 and 5. Bridges only has 12 points, kind of with some of the bigger issues. Castle's got over 20. He's got 22. We wondered whether that would have. Mama Kilashvili has 24, which has been the big surprise for the Spurs here as they're up 11 with 6 to go.
I don't care about if these jokers want to take the day off. I want to see new blood, okay? I'm not that guy a little bit. Yeah, I know these prices are high. Gerardo says, I think you've already given out all the Laker, but Sean, we've got 4 minutes and we're going to be leaving soon. Do you have anything else, or have you wrapped all those?
I wrapped the stuff on the Lakers bets, but I will review them forward to go through. So I am on Austin Reeves over 3.5 threes. We are on Michael Porter over 2.5 threes. We are on Westbrook over 7.5 rebounds. I took the over 9.5 assists as well. And personally, I'm on Doncic's over 8.5 rebounds and 8.5 assists. And at that point, you might as well sprinkle the trouble. Well, one of our guys' fat heads is on Aaron Gordon to get 30 points at plus 300. Coming off that, I did not go that high. I took the 25 points at plus 240. And Michael Porter's rebounds at over 7.5.
All right.
So,
And go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was going to wrap it up. If we're going to wrap it up, I was going to bring in my last 2 plays of the night from the NIT. These will be off at 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific time. So ways to go yet, but we're almost done here on Nuke the House. I'm going to take USF tonight Sean in the matchup with Utah Valley. I love what Utah Valley's done, but I think the Dons here have them where they want them, and I'm going to lay the mostly 6.5s out there right now. That looks to me like a bit of discount by a point and a half or so. So I'm going to lay it with USF, and I'm going to go on the road, and I'm going to take the Ramblers here against San Jose State. I'm going to take Loyola Chicago. Look, it might be easy to say it, right? I mean, they were 21-10. San Jose gets the home game despite being 14-18 coming in. So you got to lay 3.5 here, but I'm willing to do it with one of the rare road favorites so far in the NIT. So I'm going to go USF and Loyola Chicago to wrap up the night and send me off into a little more handicapping to do, maybe a few more brackets to contests to fill out. It feels like it's going to be a late night, I have to be an early riser. It was kind of nice, Sean, the last 2 nights being able, I watch too much Chinese basketball, overseas tennis when I'm getting ready for my show, usually at 3 or 4 in the morning. But it was kind of nice to watch some real live Major League Baseball there over the last couple of nights while I prepped for my show.
Yep. I mean, that happens. You have to sit there. The OKC game does go over, by the way. And we also got to be able to do a couple more things. Dylan Jones, over 8.5 points comes through for OKC. Hit over 8.5 threes as first.
Have a night.
He hit the over 8.5 points. So we'll give a little ring that bell for that. And then we do get a little bit of ring that bell for something. Quentin Grimes plays most of the fourth quarter, and he gets 28 points. So he goes over his points very, very easily.
He had 28 of those 100 points.
Yeah, 28 of those 100 points.
Wow, Quentin Grimes has been quite a story. I don't care how bad Philly has been. He's been one of the best stories of the last week and a half.
Yeah, so that goes through. We got 5 more minutes. I was going to look at some things from the Wizards game because I know how everyone loves to bet the Wizards.
At halftime now, 64-63, Sean, Jazz by 1. Halftime.
I don't know how you don't take Sar 28 points. I don't even know how you don't take Sar at 30, to be flat out honest with you. 10 more points in the second half. If you look at where he's at, he's not in foul trouble. He's got 0 fouls. He's going to play. It's a 1-point game, unlike last time where we needed him to score 4 and he didn't get it because he never played the fourth quarter. He's going to get 4 or 6 this game. The other thing I don't know how you don't take is go ahead and take the third quarter points total for him. He's just been an absolute beast. Colin Sexton also has 16 points in the first half. He's really not going to stop scoring. So you can get him at 25 points to say, okay, can he score 9 points? Yeah, probably in this game. Shouldn't be any issue being able to get to 25. So I'm going to go ahead and give Sar at 30. Filipkowski's got 11 in the first half. It's kind of interesting. Jordan Clarkson's got 9. Keontae George does have 8. We talked about that as well. So Collier's got 6. We have him getting 10.5. You go ahead and you look in the rebound side of the business where we like to kind of there. Sar's got 5. Kessler's only got 1. So not really good for his rebounds tonight. I wondered how the 2 towers was going to work. But Filipkowski's got 0. The problem is no one's missing. The leading Jazz guy is Johnny Zuzang off the bench with 5 rebounds. Yeah, the key requisite to bet rebounds is the other team must actually miss a shot. So since that is not happening, we're going to take Alex Sarr at plus 140 to score 30 points.
Well, look, I'm looking good. I gave out the over as my play on the show, so I'll just let it ride and enjoy the night. But, man, thank you so much man.
Yeah, hopefully we're able to tail some and be able to make some money today. We've done very well for the most part in our picks.
Your fans probably got it all down. I couldn't get them all because I'm a little slow, and I know that your guys are all over it. But
we cashed the North Texas and Bradley does cover, by the way.
You did get the vote. Hey, all right. Let's go. Shout out to my chat.
Yep. Gerardo hit his Pacers, Pistons, OKC, which I thought, oh, Julia grabbed her 1 straight sets, plus 250.
We didn't even get around to the tennis in your neck of the woods down there, Sean. I would have come with some action here. I did watch today, so you threw in a grabber over a Grant there, but also did you see Kyrgios won his first match in almost 4 years today over Mackenzie McDonald, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. So I don't think he's back. I mean, he'll probably retire his next match, but Kyrgios did win a tour level match for the first time in nearly 4 years today.
We did hit another bet. Jabari Smith actually ended up with 13 points, so we got 12.5 that we needed for Jabari Smith. I guess he came back at the end of the game. Not expecting that. So that's kind of Count looks really nice and fat. It's been a very nice day. We'll continue with more plays. Going through, we hit we get first open. Morosen did not win. I won a baseball bet last night. I was quite happy with that. So all right, so we will stop. Nuke the House. I'm not as much as Holden. Nuke the House. I don't even know what the parlay is. Free week Nuke the House. Go view Nuke the House on Twitter. Go look at my Twitter. Links to it. Links in the bio. We are very well proven. We're 100% transparency. We show all the plays. I'll flat out tell you my February was sucky. My March hasn't started off great, but it's not done yet. I'm very much of a volume better. So a lot more to go. They're killing it in NASCAR, which is starting. We're getting ready. You're going to laugh at me, but the WNBA is about a month away. I'm right there with you. I made 53 units in the WNBA last year. So I'm very, very excited going into this WNBA season. So lots of great cappers. Try us out for a week. Nuke the House. Nuke the Playoffs, I believe, is or drive something. But if you look at the Twitter from Holden or Keg, you should be able to see what the outside of that. So other than that, great show. We will be back again tomorrow night. Ramon, I didn't know if you said you were available or what wasn't available.
I think I'll plug it. I'll plug my. I think my guys are going to be on the air, so I might be committed with them. If they're not, we've been doing Thursday nights, obviously the first day of the tournament. So I want to appreciate and thank you. And just to let you know, when Holden says for me to come on the show when I'm on the chat, I make it clear. This is Sean's show, man. You don't need me clogging up even if I did bring a few winners here, you don't need me clogging it up here. What a night for Sean. But when I'm in the chat, I'm enjoying my day. I can't be on the air 24/7, but you can catch me tomorrow morning at the Sports Money Network YouTube channel. I do a show every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Believe it or not, I'm here in Las Vegas. So at 3 a.m. My time, I get up for it, and the show's at 6 Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. I should make that clear. The morning steam over there at the Sports Money Network. And you get my premiums over at winnable.com/Ramon, if I can say that, Sean, as well. Sure, so get anybody hooked up with me over there at Winnable. It looks just like that. And you get my premiums. I have a pretty good day. So might not have plugged it, Sean, if I was losing today, but looking pretty good here with a lot of those premium. So I really appreciate it.
Want to know your favorite play tomorrow.
Oh shit! Did we go over some night? Well, I guess we didn't say our favorite, did we? Maybe I better stick with what we were talking about there a little bit. What? Well, let me see here. We got to go with UCSD, a game we talked about. I'm going to go with. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the 12-5 guy. Maybe I'm homering it up a little bit with my Tritons. When I was a kid, and we didn't go party at the state school. We partied with the smart kids at UCSD because I don't know. I mean, that's just who I ran with.
That'll work. All right. I'm Sean Fox Plays. He's Ramon. Thank you guys for all joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. I think it's going to be 7:00. We're going to have some college basketball live. We're definitely going to go through that for most of the night up until the 10 o'clock hour. The NBA is smart. There's a couple, 2 7 o'clock games, and then everything's at 10. So hopefully we got some stuff, some more winners. Texas Xavier's 47-39 at the half. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, enjoy your evening, guys. Take it easy. Hit the like button on your way out.